guys, just let me know. I'll press
Okay,
go.
yeah, let's go. I'll start with the OBB and then the bed. So
Okay, hold on. You'll see it naman on Zoom. Hold on. Go live.
Yay!
Welcome to a brand new episode of
Eavesdrop Radio.
Welcome to the show. Hello, everybody. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to Eavesdrop Radio.
Hello, Fran.
Live on FB. Yes, hi. I promised you. I told you. I never go back on my promise.
Oh gosh. I woke up like this.
Good morning, Delamar. What time is it there? See?
It's 7 something. It's super cold. I don't know what's going on. It's
Is
supposed
that
to
your
be
window
summer.
there? Outside? Madilim pa.
Yeah. Well, no. It's what do you call that? It's a window well. So
okay.
I'm in the basement and there's a window but maliwanag na. Maliwanag na. It's just very cold. Something like, I don't know, below 5 degrees.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
All right.
But
So
what
there's
time is
no,
it?
sorry, there's no
is it
house
there?
tour?
No house tour today.
Or no house tour of the West Wing?
we only saw one part of the house, or there's more. There's more house to see over there in the
out
in the
there.
enclave,
No, front door.
in the
I
cul-de-sac.
mean, ano. But we in the cul-de-sac. No, we've been so busy here because Utah is a desert state, so they have this program where if you turn your park strip into like if you put pebbles, just pebbles and no plants, or desert plants, the state actually gives you money because you'll be saving.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So 2 weeks before, we went to the conservatory, and there you have all of the plants in the desert. And I thought it was just cactus or whatever, but apparently there's so many beautiful, fragrant plants. So there you just choose, and then you buy it from the government with the money they give you. And then after that, you save on water.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you don't have to mow it because it just, you just have to trim it probably if it gets out of hand. So, and the whole house is like full of dirt because we've been digging, etc. Wala bang pwedeng utusan.
Oh my God. I had a dream that Ate Ceces came back.
Oh my God.
It felt so real. It was like I saw her outside saying hi to, like, Megatron went outside to greet her. And I was like, oh my God, Ate Ceces, you're back.
How is she? How's she doing?
She's okay. She's good. Her husband still gets to, like, because he's a fisherman, so he gets to, like, go out and fish.
Yeah.
So at least there's that, and then we keep in contact with her. Oh, I just miss her so much.
Doña Monica is so ready for Ate Cece. I get it. I can't wait for Ate Luz to get back as well, because I feel like I need her to be here so I can actually have some me time. Like
Right.
a scheduled me time, like from this hour to this
off.
hour.
Guys, I'm gonna take this off.
She can't stand it anymore. Oh, just so everyone knows, before we started, Fran was like, can we go live already? I need to take this off. We've got folks who've been waiting for us to go live. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. Christine Irabon, Gracie's Baldoza says, hello, guys. Finally, Gino Benitez, Eileen Sia. There's a Reyes who shared our stream. Thank you for that. I don't have the name of this Reyes. Sophie Aguilada Orin is asking, Dal, how are your dental appointments going? She hopes that they went well.
Oh, yeah. So but it was so they did a root canal on one side, and they said, oh, we can take out the other molar right then and there. They said that. I go, okay, but how long will it take? And they said 10 minutes. 10 minutes to take out the whole molar.
Yeah.
And they didn't put me out. I felt it. Not the pain, but the pressure of
Oh,
it.
okay.
Mm.
And then so what's so cool here is, and I'm sure some of the big dentist offices in BGC probably have this. So when they do the root canal, they take another x-ray after so that they know that they did it all the way through and the right way. So minimizing any kind of complications. And I'm like, goodness me. And then you're just like, okay, that's my gum. Okay. But suffice it to say, after this one was taken out, it was really kind of because that's your bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really your, and that I was like, that's a part of me. Now it's gone. I've had it for 46 years. Now it's gone. And I'm like, no, it's just a tooth. But I don't know. Maybe it's
It brings back memories of the time when I was in school. Can you imagine that when they extracted your molar, that took like 10 minutes for you, right?
Yeah.
I had a patient for odontectomy. It took me an hour and a half. We're still studying, and it was the third molar. So, I apologize to that particular person, but we're students. Hold on, before we continue on, can I just say, I know, I feel so sorry for that guy. Imagine your mouth is open for an hour and a half. So Sophie, there you go. That's your answer. How her appointment went. Jermaine Arguiles Gonzalez is happy that he made it. Thank you, Jermaine. Quenny or Sarmiento, hi to you. Her first FB Live. Jeffy Rosette, Art Felipe, Hayton Benzon, J. Al Alawi, Arthur Pena, Janelle Margot, Popeye Ocampo, L.A. Salvador, Bernadette, Jeppy Rosette, okay, Ryan Sanchez, J. Ryan, Sanya Santos. Oh my goodness, a lot more people now. Hey, you guys.
Where are we going, Del? Where are we going? Are we going to your kitchen? Can I see?
I'm
can I
in the
see
basement.
inside of? Wait. Can I see the inside of your refrigerator?
Oh, my ref.
Yeah.
Has it
I
been
miss,
Conmareed?
I miss American
No.
stuff. I miss
My ref. No, I'm in the basement, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
If I go up,
mo.
the kids might start, talking to me. Sabi ko, don't talk to your mama for 1 hour. Don't talk to your mother.
I love
Anyway.
Seriously, you're still at the basement?
Yeah, I just had to
Laki
get
na.
some.
That's like my entire unit. Basement mo pala.
Hindi, alam mo, medyo mas malaki ang itsura sa cam. It looks better on cam. Yeah. But
I need your camera.
Do we have any reactions to the one with Sanaya? Do we have any reactions?
Oh,
A
quite
lot.
a number,
Did you see
yeah.
any, Jude?
Huh?
Did you see any Jude reactions on your end?
No, I have been tracking actually. Not on my social.
See, Fran, every time we go live, you have to be ready with what lipstick you're using.
It's the same one. I just can't remember what the name is, but it's Sunny's face. So sorry.
Sunny's is really good, right?
It's very
I'm
good.
so surprised.
I like it.
They are.
Yeah.
Even their blush.
The blush.
I don't need that right now.
What do they call that? Oh, you have the Asian flush.
They're pretty disruptive as a business, actually.
Yes. Yep.
I'm sure they're talking about that in business school already, because they started out with just kiosks and now they have the whole, I don't know, maybe
right. Their marketing campaign's very good.
But also the product, I think, because it landed on an American beauty magazine.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they were included in, I forget, because Georgina, I think, had posted it or something.
Their reach is quite far because of the people who are invested in it.
True.
They've
The
got
it girls.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Which, well, I mean, the quality of the product, obviously.
Well, they've already branched out to their sunglasses as well. They have
oh
optical
yeah.
shops now.
Well,
Oh
didn't
yeah.
it start with the sunglasses and then the optics?
I think the
Yeah.
makeup was after,
And
right?
then,
The
yeah.
makeup was after.
So, you know,
But before they just had the sunglasses, now it's a full-on optical shop.
They
Several
also
of
have
my
Sunny's food.
the
If I'm
cafe,
the
yeah.
cafe, yeah, in
Yeah.
GC.
I'm
Where
the
was
only
it in
one.
Well,
DC?
your old stomping ground.
Oh.
I'm the only one in my household who doesn't have the spectacles, the eyeglasses.
Oh,
Everybody else
really?
does, yeah.
Wait, I
Yeah.
know this is gonna date me, but do you remember what's that? Eye to eye or something?
Of course.
Yeah.
Diba?
Of
That was the
course.
big thing back in the day. And Silverworks.
Silverworks hanggang ngayon, I think they
Even
come out
now?
with good stuff. They even
Okay.
had a collaboration with Disney. Like there
Oh,
were some Disney releases and they would come out with a special design for Disney. Hey, since we're talking about local businesses, can I just send out a huge congratulations to Saga Events and Rahul Laurel? They had the Runway Online, the first ever virtual fashion show
cool.
for Rahul Laurel, his latest collection, Hacienda. So that's streamed live on Facebook. I've got to say that after watching that, parang everyone in the events industry nabuhayan. You know,
How
it's like
was it? So
it was
how
so good.
how did
So Lisa
they
Litton,
execute
Litton, the host, she went on live to say hi to everyone. Then she interviewed Rahul Laurel. And then Robbie Carmona, direct Robbie Carmona of Saga Events, went on just to talk about how the idea came about, how they even started. And then they had the history, sort of like a history of Rahul Laurel's fashion line, and his muses came on. And then Joey Mead, who's all the way in LA, started off the fashion show. She had on, I thought, a Rahul Laurel creation. As it turns out, she just used the curtains that she had at home, but it was styled Rahul Laurel way. It was really good. The transitions were so good. So bravo to Saga Events and Rahul Laurel. Really enjoyed that, and everyone from the events industry felt like, thank you for doing that, because now we feel like this can still be done. We can still have somehow. So
There's a
those are-
template of something, right? Of people doing
Yeah.
something. Well, I attended a Zoom wedding.
You did?
Yeah, I
How was
did.
it?
So it's my cousin on my mother's side. She and her boyfriend have been together for 29 years. 29 years.
Wow.
Because they met in high school. And anyway, so they decided to have a Zoom wedding last Monday. And there were like 40 of us on the thing, and she wore her dress, and they had a two cam set up.
Oh.
And then she just asked everybody to wear like a hat, like a la, the royal family, because, you'll only see this part. Yeah. And then it was so nice. I found it so funny because everyone's so new to it, but everyone's attention was on the bride. And then she walked a couple of steps from her bedroom.
Aw.
It was so cool, actually. And then, and then we took pictures from our end that we are going to send her. So, but yeah, it's the first Zoom wedding I've ever attended. Sabi ko,
Wait,
"Tipid, ha?"
was the groom there with her, or
Yeah.
was he also? Oh, he was there with her.
Yeah, because they've been living together, but he really got dressed, and they had their first dance all set up. They had the cake. My cousin looked gorgeous. She's really all glammed up. It was like, wow, is this the new normal?
It is for a while at least. On my end, like David is getting ready for online schooling. He has like lab classes just to get him oriented on how things are going to go in August.
Mm.
So that's
Oh wow.
yeah, like everything's online. And even even as a parent, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, he's obviously attuned to being on screen and doing Zoom. It's just
Yeah.
like the learning aspect of it, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
And then for me, like, am I just gonna plop him in front of my laptop and just let him be for a few hours? It's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
And then
how is that
I
gonna
figure
be?
and then I think like, okay, so we're fortunate to have internet, but what about the kids who don't, you know?
Yep.
And then what about the houses that don't have great internet connection? That's like
Yep.
also messed up. How are they
Yeah.
schooling, right? Actually, that's a question that I wanted to ask the school. Like, what are you going to do about families who don't have good internet?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Well,
my god.
because here in where we are, after they closed the schools off, government was really careful about kids from low income families. So they might not have gadgets, they might not have good internet connection. Plus, most of them depend on the schools for the meal
Yes.
of the children.
Yes.
Mm.
School
Yeah,
lunches.
so what they did was to still have the lunches. You just need to pick it up. So
Oh,
from
that's
when they close the school, kids can still drop by to get the food, and gadgets will be given to them so that they can use it.
oh wow.
And then yeah, so they really, that's the cool thing, they think about those things. Pero syempre, I mean, some people will get missed here, and that's really so sad.
Juliana started her summer class today.
She did.
Yeah. She
What
was
does summer
so
class look like?
well. It's just on Zoom. It's just for an hour. The participation of the adult. They sent used in class and supplemental activity. Juliana was so excited for the idea of school. She actually put on her uniform.
Aw.
I was like, are you wearing that? She's like, yes, Mama, because I'm in school. She was really happy to see, well, just some of her classmates, not everyone. But I think the school that she used to go to, they're trying out how the online classes would go. That's why they push through with the summer class.
Yeah.
Just so they can see the participation of the students, the concentration. The difference, I guess, with the actual school is that the adults will really need to be around and supervise. Because there's Brad is already making a face, but it looks like it.
No, because you know why? Here's the thing. I mean, the tuition stays the same.
I was going to ask, is it the same?
It's the
Are you
same.
serious?
Yeah. And I understand why, sort of. They have to equip their teachers with internets. So you go to the teachers that don't have gadgets, they have to give them that. They have to subscribe to all these different platforms, sure. I mean, Al was like, that doesn't cost that much. But I mean, also the training of the teachers, obviously it's good. It's different. It's just a different medium of teaching. So they have to be trained in that aspect. And I know David's school was really proactive in getting their teachers, I guess, accustomed to learning this way. So yeah. So in effect, like, if I'm paying that much, I better be able to plop my son down, and then you better be able to teach
My
him.
own thing. Wait, will it be for the same number of hours?
I end up doing. I mean, I'm already paying. You teach my son. Go. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do it come August. I really don't.
Is it the same number of hours? Will they be in class from, say, 8 to 3 or 9 to 3?
You know, they gave us there was a what do you call it, an orientation, but I'm not complete. That was also online, so I kind of like zoned out, so I'll read it again. They sent us the slides, but there's a bulk of time that he's online, and then there's a time that he's not. Yeah, parang ganun. How's it for college, Jude, for your kids?
They're not going back to school. I'm asking them to get a job already. So that's it for school.
That's it for
Yeah.
school. Throw them in the real world. The real world.
Eve is going to do something starting, I think, July.
Okay.
Their school had something prepared, but it's minimal units, I think, and you still have to pay, but it's all online.
Yeah.
Okay. Still the same
my
amount?
Gosh,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Right. Right.
Yeah, there's a tuition, but it's not as, but it's still you still have to pay. JB, I think UP announced sometime September pa sila. So
Oh.
I think that's what I got
my
from the last So it's a long break.
So from now,
Yeah, we had a conversation. I go, you know what? 2 months has passed. You better do something. You better prep. 'Cause
That's true. Oh my
it has
gosh.
to emerge earlier than evenings because JB stays in his room all day, right?
yeah, he's a vampire.
Wait, I have a
He's a
couple of
vamp-
questions on FB.
We have greetings
Somebody here-
also.
Yeah, somebody is asking, Jude, are you the one who painted all those behind you?
Oh no, these are all my kids' work from senior high school, something.
Okay, that's from Jay Ryan. Rose Tovar. Yes, we were talking about Sunnies. We've got Jenna Sam Credo says, Jelly, please teach us how to turn a scarf into a beautiful turban live. No, because again, you will see what is underneath.
Do you know?
There's a reason why.
I bet you look beautiful, Jelly. I bet you look great with your hair. Ano ka ba?
Mga lihim
Just
ni
so
Jenny.
everyone knows, I've had premature graying since I was in my 20s. So salon since February, and nakakahiya siya.
Really? I bet it's beautiful.
in-
It's like uso na yun, na.
Not like this.
Embrace it. Wait, we also need to say hi to somebody's fiance. Gino Benitez is saying, can you please greet my fiance, Resi May Labayo, a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
She's asleep now, but we'll be watching your video tomorrow. So happy birthday, Resi.
Resi. Rihanna says when she had her molar taken out, it took more than 2 hours, and the anesthetic, the effect
Wore
was
off.
gone already. Now the dentist had to give me another shot to finish extracting the tooth. Ouch. More
That
people
reminds-
loving your lippy, Fran.
Thank you. That reminds me when this is a serious like situation, but when I was in the operating room, like when I had my miscarriage, because they had to scrape out, all that stuff.
DNC. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had woken up kind of partially while they were doing it, and they're like, "Oh, Monica," and they're like, "Can you feel it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they pumped me with more drugs, and then they knocked me out. So that reminds me of that. I'm like, "Oh my god."
I woke up during my CS too.
Really?
CS, not
Yeah.
DNC. CS. Because
Pero-
DNC is intravaginal. So,
Yeah.
but so I woke up.
Pero wake up na parang you're still kind of medyo in and out or full, because I was medyo in the middle.
I could feel them moving me. This
Yeah,
is in
but
all of
you-
them.
But hindi siya
All of
masakit.
my. No, because in your
Pressure lang,
spine, diba?
Yeah.
But you have this feeling that you're being
Yeah. Like
you're being
tussled
pushed.
around. Yeah.
yeah, and it was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
crazy. And then you it's a mind fuck, so you could literally panic and get hyperventilate and knock yourself out. But
Right.
it takes a certain kind of you really have to calm yourself in your mind. You really have to, because otherwise you're thinking, crap, I'm opened up, blah blah blah.
Yes.
And it can scare you. So
Right.
I just got
And,
used to it, I
and
guess.
plus the doctors that are around you, the way they talk to you, it's like I was exaggerating, but he was like, can you feel it? His voice was really calm, the anesthesiologist.
Mm.
Yeah.
oh, Monica, can you feel this? Can you raise your hand? Ganon. And then once I did any kind of thing, he just like pumped me with more drugs. Okay, we're good.
And I think kasi when it's a delivery, then all of the attention is on the baby,
Yeah.
hardly
yeah.
on the mother, which is why I got a doula for myself, because
So she's there with you.
you really, for me, I mean, if you can afford it and if you feel inclined, just because giving birth is centered on the baby.
Yeah.
But now there's a new philosophy where they want you to think about the mother, because if you mother the mother, everything will be okay. If you just take care of the baby and the mom's not okay after she goes home, it's going to get messed up. So I really hired a doula, and she took care of me. Like, she would understand. Like, I remember my mouth being so dry because they put you out and you can't really, you're breathing through your mouth, so it's dry, right? But if everybody is focused on the baby and you can't swallow, and then you're opened up and nobody's minding you, you're like, you can't raise your hand to say, excuse me, I need water. You can't. So that's how I got to do that. Like, oh my gosh. The one was for Parker, it was the Russian lady, Irina Otkomova.
I remember.
Yeah. And then her partner.
Was it different for Harper?
Yeah, because at the time, Irina was giving birth. She gave birth 2 weeks before me. So when I contacted her to be my doula, she said, would love to, but I'm also giving birth at that time. Round about that time. So I worked with her partner, Betty.
Yeah. Okay.
Giving birth. Okay. But yeah.
God, giving birth. There was a small doctor or nurse pushing my tummy, trying to get David, because I was like 36 hours, and she was like, don't worry, just breathe. As down, trying to get David out. I'm like, how can I fucking breathe when you're pressing into me?
Yeah, and then, but some pa nga, they ride
my
it.
God, what?
They go, yeah.
Straddle you?
Yes. Well, because they have to get that vantage point of being able to push down.
Yeah.
You can't push from the side. You have to push, down. So they have to get on top. And then,
whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad she was
know.
little and she was able, I don't know what she was standing on, but like she like really pushed it out.
I guess that's the reason why you need to be knocked out so you don't see all that. You're not even conscious of it.
Grabe.
Some people are awake.
Stories. Yeah, some people, I was fully awake. I was numb, but I was fully awake. Grabe.
I just found out because I was talking to my sister that my mom had given birth without epidural, with the exception of our youngest, because she gave birth in Seventh-day Adventist hospital, and with them they don't believe in medical interventions, right? So everything has to be natural. So unless your life is in danger. So my mom gave birth to all of us with no epidural.
Oh my God!
How
many?
How
many were you? Like 5?
There were 5 biological so 4 yung walang ano. Yeah.
Grabe.
I think most from their generation, wala talaga. They didn't believe in that.
Well, if you really think about it, it's not necessary. I know it's kind of controversial. What are you talking about? It hurts. But if you just think about the human evolution, it's only the way we handle childbirth has changed in the last 100 years. Only in the last 100 years. Before, it was done at home.
Yep.
It was done by, everybody around you. You've got family. It was a different time, but now it's been medicalized. You're somewhere else. People don't know you. And you're so far removed from the process that you just kind of get knocked out, baby's out, you're back in your room. So there's a group of women right now who want to take back that
power.
Process. Yeah, that power, so that you can own your motherhood, your femininity, or whatever. Of course, a lot of women are like, are you kidding me? Give me pain meds. You can have your femininity.
It's okay.
It's okay. Sa akin kasi whatever you want. You're the mother, you're the one giving birth, so whatever you want.
Right. However you want to give birth is fine.
When I was young, my mom is an OBGYN, so I actually assisted her in helping a woman give birth. Because in Nigeria, it's a especially in the state we lived in, which is Kano. It's a Muslim state. So the men there are allowed to marry 4 wives. And the minute you're married, you cannot set sights on another man. You can only see, of course, your kids, the other wives' kids. So they can't go to the hospital to give birth. And this one woman really needed to give birth. And for some reason, I don't know why she couldn't give birth in her home. She ended up in our home. And there was nobody else who could assist my mom but me.
So how was that like? How old were
Yeah.
you?
It was fascinating. Maybe 10 or 11. I didn't have to hold the baby. I didn't have to hold any of the instruments. I was basically just helping because there's a lot of fluids.
Yeah.
Excuse those who are still having dinner right now or having a snack. But
I don't
so
think so. It's late now.
I was basically just holding on, making sure that all the fluids are caught in the bucket, and I'd be the one holding the instruments for my mom, but never really held the baby. And it was fascinating. Just
Right?
and since then I've been amazed at how wonderful the human body really is. That was my first foray into falling in love with the human body.
That was my favorite part of my pregnancy. Watching videos of women giving birth, different kinds
Did it
of
freak
birth.
you out?
Not at all. I was like training my mind. I was training my
Oh.
mind.
I follow that IG account that you had suggested. I forgot what it's called now.
Language of birth.
Something like that. But then they have actual footage of like
Yeah.
people giving birth naturally and a baby coming out of the vagina.
Yeah. The
And,
crowning and everything.
Oh my God, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. So like sometimes when I would open my IG account, it would be that. It would be like
Sometimes parang balot. Because di ba balot has the feathers when they're wet, right? But it was the crowning of the baby. So, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm in love with the idea. Some people really can't take it. It's not something that they want to know about. It's not something they want to see. But I'm just like Jelly. I'm so interested. Everything about it. I'm not.
It's fascinating. Oh wait, but going back to our FB live and the comments, JB or GB Jebe. Let me know how to pronounce your name correctly. Balasan. Curious question, Del. How much did it cost for your dental visit? Can you disclose?
Oh my gosh. So the root canal was something like $450. And then the extraction was 340.
that's like
One
one
tooth.
root canal?
One root,
God.
just one root. But
$790 already.
so one pop, sabi ko, oh my gosh, really? But then, it's done in one sitting and you're confident that they did it right because you can see it. In the Philippines kasi tingi diba? When you go, they do the work, you pay that
Several
much.
appointments.
But it stretches out, so you don't have to have the whole bulk of money to pay.
Since we're talking about this for our listeners, if you just have the time and you need to have something done with your teeth, I highly recommend going to UP College of Dentistry. Seriously, it will take a long time. Like an oral prophylaxis will take longer than usual, but guaranteed
It's free.
it's going to be thorough. It is going to be free and it will be done really well because every single step is checked on by the professor. You cannot move on to the next step. So just make sure that you allot
so
a lot of
scared.
time. No.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
I'm not.
it's so
I'm not the
scary.
target market for this ad.
No, because you have the choice. I think a lot of people who go there, these people are either, balls of steel because they're willing to gamble that much. But some of them have no money, might as well.
I remember we had patients who would show us that they had amalgam fillings. They don't do that now, but they had amalgam fillings from a different student from many, many years ago. And it was still intact. That just goes to show how good the work was. So highly recommended. Pero kung takot kayo, okay lang. Magbayad na lang kayo. But if you want to save up and you want something really good, highly recommended, you guys.
But it's so scary, right? Like in this day of COVID-19, going to the dentist is like any other thing in our lives has taken on a different look, different considerations. Like when I went there, because I was a new patient, I couldn't go in the building. They have to meet you downstairs, give you all of the paperwork, and you fill it up in your car. And nobody is allowed in the waiting room until your cubicle's ready. And so it's a different way of doing it. And it's hard because everybody had the mask and everybody's talking to you and like, I don't understand. I can't see your mouth.
Yeah.
Crazy. But how is it like? It's been 1 week since the opening up of the economy, right?
Like the
How has it
modified.
been? Yeah.
I have not been out. I don't know. People say that people have been going to the mall. Uniqlo is open, Jude Rocha.
I saw that too.
He's gonna brave the virus. Brave the virus.
Just to feel it, just to touch the material again.
Reason has prevailed, so I am just willing to wait for however long it takes until it's safe.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so-
know.
Yeah. So one of my partners sent us a video of Thailand and Thailand's malls and
Oh
how
yeah, I
they
saw
have
that.
prepared.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so high tech. And then
What is it
the
like?
following message was how like Philippine malls prepared. It was like, wow.
Wait, I haven't seen that video. What is it like in Thailand?
So they have very set protocols for you to
They-
enter the mall. Like
Where you're supposed to be, so they
yeah, and then your ID
Mm.
information is there. All the disinfection and all the like. If you have to like try on clothes, which is weird. I wouldn't want to try on clothes. But it's like they put it in a closet and it's UV light and basta ang daming steps. All the
Okay.
steps that they will take for you to go to the mall. And then and then the next video that my partner shared was like, a Philippine mall and it was just like temperature,
Hand
It's like a
sanitizer.
sanitizer, good luck.
actually no, parang good luck, Pinoy.
Good luck,
Okay,
good luck. So
may the
Parang
what's
ganon.
that? What's the divergent quote? May the odds be in your favor.
yes, Hunger Games. Oh God,
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Yeah. So, but I haven't been to the mall, and I don't know. But I know the first weekend or kailan, but it was lifted on a Friday, diba? Jude, Friday.
16th, that was a Saturday.
That was a Saturday.
That was
so
a
Saturday
weekend,
was
yeah.
lifted, and then Sunday. So ang daming tao sa mall, traffic sa EDSA.
Oh, the
so-
traffic sa EDSA again.
Well, I think the traffic on EDSA was more on the checkpoints kasi may checkpoints naman talaga, and it like
It was backed up.
blocked. It was they.
Okay. There was a
grid.
gridlock. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you don't have the IATF pass, rapid
Mhm.
pass, then you can't go through the checkpoints. But anyway,
You can't leave the city, so I think a lot of people thought that they could leave Metro Manila.
yeah.
So
Wait, you can't leave your city or Mega Manila. I mean,
you
we
can
go
get
from
on.
Pasig to-
You can get on. Well, you can't leave your city if there's a checkpoint and you have no business going to
Yeah.
the next town. Then you can.
Like if you wanted to go malling in Mandaluyong, you can't. You have to stay within your.
Well,
You have to tell them that you're buying essentials.
Yeah, yun pwede pa. Pero yung intra-city, pag may checkpoint, sisitayin ka. Lalo na pag, yung may mga
Yeah.
lockdown na areas na barangays, for instance. But leaving Metro Manila, like getting on the tollway, not allowed.
You
unless you
can't.
have,
Oh.
unless you have, the papers.
Wow.
have
Unless you have the
papers, yeah.
letters of transit.
Yeah, plugging.
Otherwise, stay put. Go back.
Mahirap, huh? That's kind of like, I can imagine it's very hard. You can't move.
It is. But then like parang okay, like today I had to have somebody come in and like repair my roof. So it's like anxiety because like you have people in your house, you have to wear a mask.
Right,
I mean,
right.
even though it was just outside work, it's still kind of weird. And then we have to have like some electrical stuff done inside the house, and that's Wednesday. And then tomorrow we have pest control.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
we
like
had pest control here too.
right. So it's like
It's-
life goes on, but you have to take all these precautions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different world, right? A different way of doing things. That's crazy.
Sila rin, they have to take precautions.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
repair guys.
They
don't
have
want
to
to get
have
sick.
well, oh, they don't want to get sick. Well, I don't know. This is like, mang boy, diba? So,
Bigyan mo
tell
ng
the
mask
boy.
si Mang Boy.
Oo, sabi ko kailangan may mask ka. And then I checked yet kanina outside, he left his mask there. One of them. I'm like, I just go.
I think for a lot of them, it's not real. And it's happened like, I know that a friend of mine who lives in Vegas, apparently there's not a lot of cases. And so they don't understand it. They don't understand the state. I mean, not that they don't understand it, but do we
they don't
really need to be
grasp
this
it?
strict? Parang, well, let's do away with it because there aren't a lot of cases. But then you could also argue that the reason why there are not a lot of cases is because everyone's staying at home. So I was like, okay, but you be careful because once Vegas opens everything, we're talking people from all over. And who knows where they're coming from and what kind of
Yeah.
situation COVID-19 has from their spot. And they're coming into your city. And I was like, but then some people, parang it's okay. Look, I'd rather that we do this because we have to do it anyway. And I shared a video, remember that that lady in Florida who was so angry. We should post that. Yeah, because she's a real estate agent and she got so angry. And this just reminded us of what Sanaya was talking about and the emotional neutrality. And so you could argue that this lady is correct, right? Wear a mask. It makes sense. But she had gotten so angry that it seemed comical.
She was in Florida,
Yeah.
diba?
Yeah, she lives in Florida. So, because that was such a big deal, apparently, when Fran brought it up. And I put in a comment, no, at the bottom. Yeah. But I think a lot of people understood her, Sanaya, that we're not
Yeah.
talking about political neutrality, emotional neutrality when it comes to political stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that you saw that comment, Fran, because when you brought it up again, people are like relieved kasi nung una, triggered na lahat eh. Tapos when,
Yes.
as in super triggered na.
Yes.
After the show, I went through the comments. There were some saying, ay, buti na lang you're just tuned in. Because you missed yung sobrang nakakainit ng ulo. They had comments like that. But it's a good
Actually,
thing
that was just the same
people
guy
say.
saying it was the same,
Same
person.
thing, right? Yeah, same person.
Just one.
And
one
here's the
person.
thing, it's like
maybe
it
two.
just it proves
Maybe
the
two.
point. It proves the point that people get triggered just by words, just by
Yeah.
singular words that they hear, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get triggered. I'm gonna get angry.
That was a terrific. It was the term that was used was save, but it just shows you how on the ball these guys are. I don't need to remind, but it's just funny. Sometimes in the comments, as it happens, meron din nagko-course correct eh, di ba? Because some people can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
especially in a forum like a feed. Di
That's
ba?
true.
But then at the same time, there's an equal force that maybe there's pushback, and maybe there's just trying to get the conversation back again to the middle, and that's what Sanaya was trying to say, that somehow if you look at it, and then there's left, right, up, down, circling back.
Exactly.
I think there was long after our live broadcast was done. I think somebody who listened to the podcast, nag-comment ulit, galit na naman tungkol dun sa neutrality.
No, but
Listen, keep listening. Get to the end of the podcast. Then maybe
and
you won't
that
feel
should be a
that way.
lesson for all of us. I mean, it's come to a point where, we really are intolerant. We can hear the words, but we're not listening.
Yes.
We're looking at the same thing, but different filters. So some people might take this as, they understand it. Some people don't. They're angry, and just kind of shows you what kind of world we live in. And once we find ourselves getting angry, it's time to look within, like, oh nga naman, ano? I mean, it's easy to point out what's wrong with other people, but it really has to be, like Michael Jackson said, it's the man in the mirror. Yeah,
Wait,
but that was something.
Okay, I'll check again the comments that we're getting. Hey, Mark Anthony Laguna is tuned in. Hey, you.
Oh, can we say hi to
Radio
Only
One Baby.
Narda? Can we say hi to Only Narda from Germany? Hi.
Only Narda, hi. We've also got another one, this time from Singapore, a frontliner who is locked in. Thank you so much. Wait, where is her name? Did I lose it?
Fran, what's the name of the girl in Germany?
Actung Baby.
Only Narda?
Leona, but Only Narda. Only Narda.
Narda.
on IG.
Here, Kathy Le Pokong Grijaldo, all the way from Singapore, a frontliner out there. How is Singapore? It's like they didn't experience a lockdown in Singapore. Because my friend, even though I was reading in the news that there was a lockdown, my friend would be out in the park. She'd be running. What's it like in Singapore? Okay, Lian Yabut is watching from Singapore as well. Louise Reyes. Yep.
Hi,
We don't have an Al sighting today. We have a Megatron sighting.
There, Megatron, my
that's
baby
joining us.
boy. He's sleeping.
Kung saan yung aircon.
I can't read this person's name from Albay. Locked in.
Yeah.
Julie
Go on.
Bell watching from Pampanga. Popeye. Okay, Athena.
And
Thanks
Dong.
again for your
Say hi to Andong on IG. Hello. They wanted to watch on YouTube. So guys, yeah, I know we wanted to stream on YouTube, but I couldn't figure it out in time. There is a way. So next time we'll be on Facebook and YouTube. Next time we go on live. Okay, I promise.
Hey, what can you say about that Joe Rogan move?
What happened?
Exclusive to Spotify.
Spotify paid him 100 million, is it, Jude? Was it 100 million?
100 lang ba? Baka 200. I don't know. A lot of money. A lot of
A
dollars.
lot of money.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna pay Eavesdrop 100 million.
No, Joe Rogan, they will. Not us.
Yun.
So you can only find him on
On
Spotify after. So my question was, maybe you can answer this. Like, what about the other stuff that he'd done in the past? Would they scrub that clean from YouTube as well?
I think so. Up to a certain, I think
Oh.
he's going into Spotify sometime September. So there's a few months, and then eventually it'll probably be. I think I'm not
All
sure.
transferred.
Same. I think he still will have some presence in the other, but not at the length that he does his show, which sometimes can run for several
3
hours.
hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kaya rin natin yun, di ba?
Yes, you can. The only
Yes, we
question is if we should. No, but that's a huge move. And I saw Russell Brand talk about it on his channel. What does this mean for podcasting in
Right.
general? Like, Joe Rogan doing this is the equivalent, supposedly, of Howard Stern going on satellite radio. So So we just don't know how it's going to affect the whole industry of podcasting. But it seems like it's the right time because everyone's into podcasting more now because not a lot of shows can be done, right? So everyone's just consuming podcasts. But yeah.
These are
Wow.
necessary moves for Spotify, like a company like Spotify who bought
But-
in prior to Joe Rogan, The Ringer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wait,
Oh
I have
my
a
gosh.
question about with Joe Rogan. So nothing is gonna be on his YouTube channel.
Wala na
Nothing's
yun. Oo,
visual.
competing na yun eh. Siguro,
It's all audio.
the length of his podcast, the meat of it, because right now you can get it everywhere, di ba?
Yeah.
Including YouTube. And
Right.
maybe, I don't know how if Spotify is gonna come out with a video
Maybe
component.
maybe they'll have a video
Well,
component.
maybe
That's
that's in the
probably.
works. Oh.
Yeah, I would say.
Kasi
I would
Ay!
think so.
si ke Joe,
Do this, girls.
ke paring Joe, that's a huge part of his attraction.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
A big part, and it's a huge coup for Spotify to be able to get him.
Yeah.
And maybe they're cooking something up. I don't know. We'll see. We're all all new to this podcast thing.
Yeah. But everyone has been clamoring for a different format similar to YouTube because people are hating the policies on YouTube and how they censor whatever. And some were saying, oh, if you're this kind of political leaning, you're censored more than if you were whatever. So they want an alternative platform for video sharing. And maybe that's it. Maybe Spotify. Because if you think about it, Joe Rogan is not just a podcast, right? You have these clips that he breaks them down into little 7-minute, 6-minute videos that talk about a specific topic with a guest. So even if you don't want to listen to the whole 3-hour podcast, you can just click on Malcolm Gladwell talking about something very specific, and then you get it. So
since we're talking about it, and I think what the Ringer has is they also have the video component on their webpage. So yun pwede
I
yun.
see.
But it's not just on YouTube. So if you go to the Ringer, for instance, which by the way is especially the up and coming sports writers, they all sound like they want to be in the Ringer. or write
Yeah,
like
it's
them, diba?
true. I've noticed that.
If you notice, diba, if you, mga nuances, that's where we are now, and that's the language that we're talking in going into
Yeah.
the future. So it's good. I mean, there's interest in that form, in that presentation, in how they talk about pop culture these days. And I don't know, we're just finding our little space in it, I suppose.
Yeah.
that's why this is funny when the internet was starting, everybody had foretold of the death of radio. They have been foretelling the death of radio, but if you think about how COVID-19 is affecting all media, I think radio should be getting a boost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should be getting a boost because TV's down.
No. Where do you listen to radio? In your car?
No, but I mean,
If you're not
Filipinos
out and
have.
about.
On your commute?
When you think about the Philippine setting,
Yeah.
it's mostly because internet, you have to pay for that. Diba? You
That's
have to have a
true.
smartphone.
Yeah.
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 But when you're thinking about the masa, they still have transistor radios.
Yes.
You go to
That's
Abenson,
true.
Western Appliance. All of these stores still have transistor radios. So
Radios.
I think radio should be doing very well, or at least taking steps into getting its foothold back. Because after a while, digital was already creeping in, right?
Mhm.
But wow, I don't know what's going to happen. But I hope
Sana they do
radio
that for
survives.
education. I hope they do that for some way to educate the kids. Because if the ones that we can't open schools yet. So
Yeah.
if they can do classes on radio, that would be like an interesting feat.
Yeah, that's I heard I think yesterday that was the plan.
Oh yeah.
The DepEd, or there was a suggestion by a politician maybe, but it's been there. Radio naman is the most pervasive of all.
Yes.
Yeah. And
It's
accessible.
cheap and terrestrial, especially in times
Yeah.
of calamities or
Right.
but especially now in this new world order, we're going back to basics, and hopefully they can find some way somehow, not just radio but television, government owned, otherwise, that can propagate especially learning in far-flung areas, not just
Yeah.
where we are in urbanized areas. We have internet and all that, but the rest of the country. We're an archipelago, so we'll find out. It'll be interesting next few months how they're going to
hope.
tackle that.
I really hope so. I hope they get to do that. Hi, Juliana. Oh, as a break. Okay, so I wanted to surprise you guys, but it couldn't happen today. I had asked Christy if she can join us.
Oh.
Yeah, but Christy said, Zoom doesn't work on my phone. And if you know Christy, if you know her
Look at
phone
June.
has not changed since, I don't know, God knows when. Hindi ko alam. I don't know.
Oh no,
Sayang! Bakit to the end?
No,
Sayang!
don't even get me started on the conversations. Like the whole trip to Palawan, I was like pushing her, like, dude, you're the boss. You need a smartphone.
Yes!
You need a good internet. You need Spotify that you paid for because, but I don't know what's gonna happen with her.
So she says hi. I said we miss you so much. And
I was just messaging her a couple of days ago.
low-tech yung phone niya. Sabi ko, Diyos ko, Christy Ann!
Wait, so how did she do it with her staff on radio? Paano yung mga nila? Wala silang Viber group?
Siguro
They
may
do.
Viber. May
No, they
Viber
do.
naman siya.
They have and Messenger, but
It's just Zoom.
and she has to go to a place where because her plan doesn't include data. So she has to be in a place where there's Wi-Fi or something. Then she can access all of the messages. But otherwise,
I miss hearing her scream.
Hi, Christy. We miss you. We love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a few more messages because we asked what it's like in Singapore, and we have a few responses right here. Richard Allen Aquino says in Singapore they call it circuit breaker. In Malaysia, it's movement control order. In the Philippines, it's super mega enhanced community quarantine. Arlene Cruz says past workers like us were given notice to stay at home for 1 month. The rest will be groceries are open. Everything in restos are takeout.
Yeah.
So Kathy Le Grijaldo says also, sir, di magpanic ang mga tao. The good thing here is even though mataas ang rate ng mga positive patients, mababa ang mortality rate. 30,000 cases of COVID, but only 23 are deceased. Wow.
Wait, so they call it circuit breaker?
That's their term. That's their ECQ term, circuit breaker. She says they're lucky in Singapore because somehow they are well protected and strict. It's strict there. Bawal lumabas ng walang hindi nakamask or mag-fine ng 300 Singapore dollars. Yung iba mawawalan pa ng work pass. See, that's what we need, man.
Well, you're coming from Singapore. Remember, they have caning. I mean, do they still have that?
For
I'm
those
not
who,
sure.
if you're
Remember
eating gum.
Yeah, if you ate gum or you spit out gum, there was a really strict penalty for that.
But
So-
also the matter of population, the matter of how big the country is, those things
Right.
come into play.
yeah.
That's also why they have a very effective what do you call this? The police, like for example, see Colleen, Gino's wife, had lost her phone. Oh no, she had bought a phone, but it was there was something wrong with it, and so they suspected that the seller might not have been on the up and up when it came to what. And you know what? Within hours, the police was there, and they were able to resolve the whole issue.
Galing. Wow.
And she was talking about it, and she said, "Can you imagine if you bought your phone in Green Hills and something like this happens? Good luck.
Wala.
Bye to your money."
Yeah, good luck.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Okay,
Yeah, but iba rin kasi sila eh. They're a different country.
okay, they're answering the things that we talked about. Apparently, DepEd is looking at radio for educational modalities. So
Yay.
they will be utilizing radio and television for conducting classes. That's Shay Cheng Padilla. They're the ones who said that. Senator Gatchalian is thinking of using TV and radio for the education of students in public schools, those who do not have access to the internet and have no gadgets for online education. This is from DC Magbiro.
Well, that makes sense. Like if I'm thinking about it, if you're a former jock, not doing much these days, like the
Yeah.
four of us, if you were inclined, like I would make a series of podcasts dealing with World War II. So if your child is at a grade level,
Yeah.
and then all the voiceovers can talk about, you're retelling a story, history, and para siyang encyclopedia, but audio version of it.
Nice.
That would be great, right? Want to talk about science? You can come up with a podcast about condensation,
That's nice.
evaporation. That would be great. And then your kid can just say, "Mom, I want to learn about this today." Okay, then you have a
Yeah.
library of podcasts.
You
stumbled
do
on
it.
an
There
idea.
you go, Zell. There you go.
It's the
You can-
teacher in me.
You can have Parker as your little co-host with his little quips. What was
Well,
your
we did
your tweet the other
we did
day
a
about?
Yes. So
It's
we
Mama,
play this
It's you.
because we play this game, Guess What Animal? And so in the morning when they're all snuggled with me, we play all kinds of different things. But, me thinking of how to educate, we talk about animals. And so that day we were talking about animals that laid eggs. So we were doing lizards and birds and all that. And then I said, hey, what is the mammal that lays eggs? And then everybody was quiet because nobody could remember. And then Parker goes, I know, the mom. Well, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. But this would be a great idea. We should
do
be on
it.
this, ladies.
Okay, but you're the smart one, so you do it.
Hindi.
Voice
Kailangan lahat
talent
tayo.
lang kami.
I'll
We're
write
your-
the script,
we're your
no?
cheerleaders. Wait, let's say hi to Attorney Picalidot. Attorney Picalidot. She's
No, a typical idiot is how you say her name.
I
But
baso.
it's yeah, she's gotten us many times on the morning rush. I
Oh my
remember
god,
that.
she got me so good. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
typical idiot.
I see it on her. A typical
Idiot. Attorney Picalidot. That's how it was said on the morning rush, and she corrected it. No, a typical idiot.
Yung pala. Okay, hi. She's in Winnipeg. Hello. Thank you for listening.
We also have Amy Concepcion.
Hey,
Hey,
there
Amy.
goes Amy. She's my support group because she's a dentist
She's in California.
in California, and
correct.
so the whole time I was doing this, she's like, "What are they doing? These are your options. You can do this." And I've been going to her like, I said, "Amy, is it okay to do this, 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 this?" And she said, "No." So after you get your molar extracted, they discourage you from sipping on a
Okay.
straw.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder why, right? I'm like, why?
Bleeding.
The suction of the pressure that you exert on the straw will get the clotting, either it will suck out the clot and then so you bleed again, so they don't. Ang galing na, sabi ko, oh my gosh, this is so interesting.
Yeah, you don't
It's
suck on straws. You don't spit so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Only swallow.
You don't suck.
No,
you don't
but that-
spit. You don't
Okay.
swallow.
No, but this is true. Mind off the gutter, but it's true. They said, you don't spit, you gotta swallow. Because spitting, you'd have to suction it, right? Before you spit it out. And that will create, it will start bleeding again. So all these things.
See, Amy
Iba na
has
isa.
grown with us. Amy was very young when she started listening to RX.
She
And
used to
she's
go
a
with her
practicing
dad.
dentist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember her dad. Oh wait, shout outs to Eds from Albay. Love
Hello.
Queens and Gents. We've got a lot more people.
You
from
Del, they're loving your idea.
Right?
Push through with that. They'll definitely subscribe now.
The University of Podcast. Podcast University. I don't know what it is.
trademark it, copyright it.
Yeah,
Del
but-
owns
and
it.
that would be so amazing. And then we can have all of the jocks do whatever, because the voice has to be appropriate for the topic. So let's
Right,
say we're
right.
talking about something for kids. Maybe a woman's voice might be more, sabagay, hindi rin. Bakit? Si Mr. Rogers lalaki. But anyway, that's beside the point. Don't
You know
steal
what?
our ideas.
No, takeaway nila
Somebody
tonight. Don't spit, swallow. Yun yung takeaway
Swallow.
nila sa ano natin, sa FB.
Bye, sana ba?
Mitos,
Oh my God.
Mitos Bello, hi to you from San Francisco.
Hi.
Joyce Lenas listening while working at home. A lot of New Jersey. Olga. Is this the same Olga who sent us the cupcakes?
Yes.
Hey, Olga.
Yeah.
Kringla cupcakes. Hi.
Yeah.
Yummy,
so
yummy.
the maker of Kringla is her cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hi Raquel. Hi Olga.
Sweet as Drug MJ is tuned in as well. She says, look at Jude's face as you guys talk about sucking, spitting, and swallowing.
I don't know what was my face, but it's the same one.
It's like what's gonna happen to these women?
Iniisip talaga ni Jude, is this a good idea to be going live at night with these girls?
Yes, kaya sabi ni Jude, ano ba, kaya pa ba natin 2 years ba tayo? We're about to sign something in like 2 years. Are you sure you want
Are
to
you
sign
sure?
it? But actually, it's Jude. It's like, I don't think I can last 2 years.
You don't-
We will
can
make
only
you
take
money,
1 year.
Jude. We'll make you money. I promise. All stuff.
no,
Oh,
it
but
had
you
to
know,
be
it's
asked.
scary. It's
it had
scary
to
when
be
one
asked.
guy is on Zoom and then there are 3 women, and then woman, and then woman goes, "We can make you money, Jude," and 3 women are like, "It sounds like the pimp."
Wait, Jude, how come you're not drinking with me? Why are you not drinking tonight?
I don't know. I drank yesterday, so
Okay. I know Jelly's not drinking because I don't know.
Kota na. Kota na.
I didn't send you your wine. I have your wine now.
Oh my gosh, no,
I
but
went to the
seriously.
store and I bought one. I'll send it to you.
I will still accept, but seriously, I was thinking about it the other day. I've consumed about 8 bottles
Stop.
in 2 months.
Stop yourself.
Would you stop?
When
Stop.
No
uh,
counts, Jelly.
it's lockdown, I would consume maybe 2, maximum
okay,
of
Jelly.
4 glasses
I know.
a year.
It's okay.
The entire year. Now it's like 8 bottles.
You are
2 months.
evolving. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, quote Monica, you are evolving.
Evolving.
Wala yung lasing. Wait lang.
Oo nga. Hey, guess what? You know the dispensaries in here in the US?
Yeah.
It takes 2 hours.
What? What do you mean?
If you're gonna buy from a dispensary, it will
Okay.
take you 2 hours to get in.
Because there's so many people.
No, they only allow 2 people at a time.
It's just like the
So with-
grocery store here.
Yeah,
just
but
like
it's
Rostan.
crazy. 2 hours. 2
I
hours,
would-
right?
You know what? I would wait. I
Ay,
2 hours.
nako.
say you need
That's-
that right now. Everybody needs that right now. Oh my god. If people were able to do that around the world, people would be happy.
Well, oh, by the way, fact check. Remember we were talking about with Sanaya the steps of love, that Hoponopo, what that what's that
Hoponopo.
guy's-
Hoponopono.
So it made me like, Del, you can't just spout out these examples and you can't remember where you got it. So I was scrambling for 2 days after we recorded that, thinking you can't just say I read. You have to remember, and hopefully we'll post the link.
Yeah.
So I went on TED Talks. I started Googling and I'm like, damn it, I know I read it somewhere. Finally, I just Googled the Dutch and drug addiction problem. So if you care to understand what I was talking about, you can just Google that and read it. So this is funny. Apparently in Sweden, when they had heroin addiction was at its height, the government decided that they were going to supply heroin to the addicts at its purest form so that there's no deaths. And they also started asking them to come to some places where they can exchange dirty needles with new
For
ones,
the clean one. Yeah.
for the clean ones, so that people don't die. So, like we were saying, the approach to that problem is different. Now, before you get worked up and say, "Oh, Del, what are you saying?" Blah blah blah. Just what we're saying is there are different ways to approach a problem. Now, it would depend on how rich the country is, how advanced they are, how the population, blah blah blah. But if you care to understand about how love can be expressed by government to citizen, that might be one way. Australia did the same when they had a mass shooting in the 80s. What did they do? They started offering like a buyback. The government will buy back all the handguns, which is why there haven't been a lot of mass shootings since then.
What a great
Whereas the United
initiative.
States has had mass shootings every year, multiple, and still they won't do anything about their laws on guns, right?
Gun control.
So anyway, if you care to, it's an interesting read. And I went when I was searching for that article, this TED Talk about the German prison system came up, and guys, it's crazy. It looks like, so first, they don't wear common uniforms. They're allowed to use their own clothes.
What?
They're allowed to cook their own food.
Wow.
Oh wow. So
They
they have
have
all
their-
this freedom.
And their cell has a garden view. Like, just go on TED Talks. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, in other parts of the world, the prison system is so vastly different. So in Germany, they also have this thing where some of the prisoners are allowed to leave the prison for a couple of hours. And so the question always is, would they come back, right?
Right.
These are criminals. And of course, if they've violated the law, it's not so far off to think that they would break whatever. Anyway, so when they collected the data, only less than 0.3% never returned.
Wow.
So it's like, if you're just interested in it, it's a great read. Maybe if you need to pass the time, go on TED Talks and read all of these. Yeah, as a reminder for all of us, if we're ever going to put the link down so we're not just spouting, fantasies here.
Yeah.
And just so
Yes.
the listeners know, we always put the links after, like for example, with the FB Live, we put the links there. So you can just check out the comments. It's usually in the top comments what links we have for you guys.
Can I-
What is friend
Can I just
laughing at?
read?
Go
Can I
ahead.
just read a comment on Facebook? I don't know who sent it, pero sabi niya, saglit lang. Napaka-gentle ng pagkatito gwapo ni Jude.
That's a Tito Guapo.
Tito Guapo!
This is the
Excuse
person
me.
who's in Albay.
Hindi pa nga Tito Guapo eh. A gentle? Napaka-gentle
Yes,
ng pagka-Tito Guapo.
Napaka-gentle ng pagkatito gwapo ni Jude.
So it's not like an assault to the senses,
Yeah.
The Guapo is like,
Okay.
Yes, it's subtle. Yes mo na!
Okay.
Ano yan? In short,
Ay, nako.
feeling ko, ang ibig sabihin ng taong to, like the more you stare at Jude, pagwapo siya ng pagwapo.
Okay.
No,
get it?
I think it's just more like, it's his subtleness, how Jude is really cool and steads.
The longer you stay on this topic,
but we like how uncomfortable you sound.
Oh. Huh. Hey, so I finished Mad Men.
I have a
No,
fact
you
check
are.
about that.
Okay,
as
fact
I
check
bugged
me.
Monica the other night, and
Okay, go.
and then I was trying to remember it. All I remember was the scene where Don Draper found himself in the ocean, and it was in a season finale. I think I was trying to look for the scene on YouTube, but I think it was in the season 2. I think towards the end where I think one of the early seasons where Don Draper isn't really Don Draper. He took
Right.
over somebody else's identity in the Korean War, and
Yeah.
he had to I don't know, make amends with the man's wife, and that's
Yes,
where that scene
yes.
was.
So admittedly, I didn't see like the first 2 seasons. I jumped in, I piggybacked like Al was watching it, and then I watched season 3, I think, onwards till the end. And I really got hooked, and I'm like, oh my god, this Don Draper. Have you seen Adele? Have you watched Mad Men? Jelly, have you?
I watched
Not
only
a
the
single
first
episode.
first season,
First season
but
only.
a long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago when it was on.
Oh.
ETC pa yata yun eh. Was it ETC?
Yeah,
So the
probably.
evolution
Yeah.
of this character. Well, actually, he didn't evolve so much. I mean, it's a spoiler alert, but I mean, I think towards the end of the 7 seasons, like he did. It's like, Don Draper's Don Draper. He found some enlightenment, but I don't think there was much closure in it. I mean, he was like that typical man who was kind of oblivious. He was very selfish in his ways. He never really realized how good he had it. Oh,
May merong good night kiss, tapos may good morning kiss, di ba?
Good morning.
Oo.
Kaloka kayo. Anyway, back to Mad Men.
Ang sweet. Does he know how good he's got it?
What? How good what?
Does he know how good he's got it? Tyler.
Why?
Oh
Why-
no, because I was
why-
talking about Don Draper. Don Draper at the end, parang all throughout the show, he doesn't realize how good he's got it. Like everybody adores him, everybody loves him, everybody does things for him, and he's just this selfish person who just takes and takes, and he doesn't really think about other people. Even towards the end of the show. Anyway, sorry. I'm watching. I've watched it. You guys haven't watched it. Sorry.
No, I think he
Anyway.
knows how lucky he is because today
Okay, good.
because last night I was out. I just slept, and it was dinner. My in-laws have been coming here for dinner because their house is being renovated, and so I've been cooking every Sunday for the last 5 Sundays. So I've been upping my game every time.
That way he pay.
Yeah, because I made a pie for my mother-in-law, and so I told him, maybe I'll just do the potatoes, but do everything else. But then by midday, I was like, no, you do everything. So I slept through the whole dinner, and I woke up today, and the house was a mess. Dishes all over, ice cream all over.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I may have not done this yesterday, but it doesn't mean I don't get to do it today. I just kind of pushed everything back. But yeah, so
Did he survive dinner? What did he serve them?
I have no idea, but there were remnants of cookie dough, ice cream, baked potato, cheese, all of these things on my counter and on the floor. It's crazy.
You made
Oh my God,
you made
wait.
it look easy, Del.
I don't know how to fry stuff like whole fish. I've never. I love
Okay.
eating it. Okay, I mean
But
at a
yeah.
restaurant or with adeseses. I've
Okay.
never tried. So sabi ko, oh shit, I miss pampano, I miss tilapia, diba? So I ordered tilapia. And it came to me frozen. So I ordered 2. So the first one was frozen. And I said, shit. I Googled, can you fry frozen tilapia?
You have to thaw it, crazy girl.
It has to
I
be
know
thawed.
But Fran, you want it fried, but talaga, you want to fry it.
So palpak. Yeah, I did.
Do you just want to fry it? Is that the way you want to eat the fish?
The whole fish, the whole
Ah.
fish. I even asked the guy who I ordered it from. Sabi ko, hi, I have never fried. I'm a newbie at frying whole fish. How do I do this? Is it clean? Is it scaled? What? I don't know.
You should have called Jelly.
I know.
Wait,
I
where did
know.
you buy it? First of all, where did you buy it?
I bought it from a guy. It's this person who really sells like fish.
A
like,
fishmonger.
Okay.
Like,
A fishmonger? But usually when they give it to you, those fishmongers, they descale it and take out all
so
of the gills and
it's
stuff.
clean. So
Okay, it's clean.
nakahiwa siya sa gitna. So it
So
was clean.
butterfly.
Mm.
No.
Hindi
Buo siya.
nakabukas.
Make me slice lang
May
sa
slit.
gitna. Yeah.
May slit lang. Okay.
Yeah, so like the guts and stuff were taken out and it was descaled. So I asked him, so because it's clean, can I just fry it? Sabi niya, yes. So remember, I didn't like thaw it out completely and it was like a mess.
You're gonna
And
use
so-
a lot of you'll need to use a lot of paper towels to minimize the splatter.
Saan? Like
Kasi
around the stove?
To absorb all the water.
all the water, because one of the hardest parts about frying fish is that it has water, and once that water hits the hot oil, it will.
Oh, so what I
Start a-
did, I just put the fish in the oil, in the skillet, and I walked away.
Wait, was your oil
Was your
sizzling
oil hot?
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot. It was like splattering everywhere. So I just walked
Okay.
away. I said, okay, I'll just let you settle down.
Okay.
Obviously, it didn't come out so well.
I can imagine with the shield and you're like staying a meter away.
That was me. That was me.
Have you seen the people who try to do that? They would have like something like a PPE looking thing when you fry fish.
Yeah.
Something that
If
shields.
I had that.
Yeah.
So it was so pangit. It was like whatever. It was just frozen and fried and whatever. So the second one was good because I thawed it out completely. And I said, okay, this is how it's done. So that was my first time frying fish.
My kitchen, I'll share. My kitchen dilemma tonight was I was not comfortable cooking live crabs.
I don't know how to do
I,
it.
I couldn't.
You
so,
have to put it in boiling water, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't. So I was telling Rhoda, you do it. If
Is
you're
that
gonna,
why you fought?
well, kind of related to
Francesca!
it.
Get a hold of your mouth! Diyos ko talaga itong babae na to.
Sorry.
Under the sea.
Live tayo! Please remember that!
I'm going to mute myself. Continue.
Okay, we are devolving.
Whoa! Well, welcome to live radio.
She really did mute herself.
She did mute herself.
Well, forgetting that we heard that. I just what crab actually got away. So they deliver it with everything strapped, but
Yeah.
one escaped. So one's been roaming around the other bathroom, and then I told Rhoda, I don't wanna cook it. I don't want to put it in there knowing fully well that it's still alive and moving. So I was like,
That's-
either you do it.
I'm
or-
sorry. You said
Yeah.
it was in the bathroom.
No, because we put it in a little
In the ba-
pail. In the
Yeah, you have to
bathroom.
put it in a
Okay.
pail.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I didn't want to put it in the fridge. It's still alive. So it
Okay.
was just in a pail in the bathroom, but one escaped. And I told him he needed to be the one to handle it. So what he did was he killed them before he handed them over to me. Because
Excuse me.
and I realized I can't cook anything that is still alive. I I just couldn't. Yun. But yes, Fran, that
Yeah.
was one of many reasons why there was
okay.
a problem tonight.
Oh, see?
Oh,
yeah.
Tingnan mo siya. Oh, see,
Wala na
not
akong
even.
Nasabi mo na eh.
It's just the truth.
The crab that got
Guys,
away.
This is not fair. This is like unbalanced. It's like I've like 2 vodka martinis and half a bottle of wine.
Look, Fran, if I weren't on antibiotics, I would be drinking too.
I know, Del. I will wait for that day, and I will be as drunk.
Today,
Don't
middle of the day, I'm done with all my meds, so I can drink finally after a week.
Ah, sige. Gusto ni Judy schedule natin again.
Dapat ganito, gabi para you're more in the mood.
Yeah, that's true. Or I will just fix my day, and I will have like a margarita or something.
So is it better to start a little later on, 10
Should
p.m.
ask
here?
the listeners.
Eh,
Hey,
I think they prefer it much later, if you ask me. I'm just guessing, but
Me too.
that would be later for Dell as well, around 8 o'clock or maybe 9.
that a
But that's
preference? Del?
So we'll figure it
Yeah.
out for the next nighttime FB Live for
Okay.
sure.
Well, I like it because you guys are more relaxed,
I
more
know.
willing, more pliable when
I mean,
it
look
comes
at
to
that.
details. Yeah, look at Fran. When we started this Facebook Live, she was mestiza. But
Mm.
now
I
she
know. Look,
is
I'm like so
Rihanna.
rosy.
oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god! Wait. Okay.
Uy,
Sorry.
sabi nila, if this was on radio, we would be suspended na daw.
Why? We're not doing
Why?
anything wrong.
Why would we be suspended? We
Who
haven't
would
said any.
suspend us? Who would suspend us?
Oh my gosh, guys. Guys, I dreamt. I've been having weird dreams.
Okay,
like
tell me.
seriously weird
Okay.
dreams.
What?
No, I can't go into details, but
Why?
yeah, I know. No. I'm not drunk, so I can I can do this. But it's crazy. The dreams have to do with us being on radio, and seemingly my mind wants to correct some things
Oh.
in our history.
I thought it was a general type of dream because I still am having dreams wherein as soon as I wake up and then I close my eyes again, it continues. So sometimes I have to get up in the middle of the night and reluctantly pick up my phone just to take a break from the dream.
Oh, why do you,
Oh,
Jude? But that's funny because when you're trying to do astral travel, that's what they ask you to do.
which is what?
So,
What?
which is when you wake up and you still in the middle of a dream. That's one of the best ways to get into lucid dreaming, because if you go back to sleep, you can control the dream.
Mm.
That's the best way. So one of the supposedly most effective ways to get into lucid dreaming is to set your alarm. Let's say you wake up at 7, you set your alarm at 5 to break the cycle of your sleep, and then go back to
Get
sleep
into
right away.
another sleep cycle.
Yeah, another sleep cycle. But then in this new cycle, you can start to control things. This is how Paul McCartney wrote the song Yesterday. He did it in a lucid dream.
Cool.
Leonardo DiCaprio, way before Inception, was doing lucid dreaming. Elon Musk, a lot of people. lucid dreaming.
Hashtag Delphax.
Or you're an athlete and you want to prepare yourself for the game. Some of them get into lucid dreaming so that they can rehearse. Because remember, Jelly said this in the last podcast, and even Sanaya, sometimes when you do things in your brain that you're working out in your brain doesn't know that the muscles are not working, so it's working just the same, right? Same thing with lucid dreaming. In your mind, you're doing this thing. So let's say for me, what I want to lucid dream about is riding a bike, because I want to learn. So I want to learn in my dream, parang simulation. So when I do it the next day, you have that feeling already. Scientists do this too. When they can't solve a problem, some of them go to sleep and get into lucid dreaming. So Jude, you can do it.
Do it, Jude. Do it.
Nakakapagod eh.
That's true. Nakakapagod. That's true.
So I'm like, okay, give me a few hours or a few minutes looking at my phone, or I don't know, and then maybe it'll stop, and then maybe I'll have a 2 hours straight, then it'll be morning again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've been talking in my sleep as well. So
What do you say? Do they tell you?
thankfully, nothing bad.
Incriminating.
Thankfully, nothing.
I have dreams about being on board and not being able to play the music. Like, I don't know how to board. Like,
I
don't
remember
know,
you said that. That's
right?
your nightmare,
Like,
right?
it's really a recurring thing. Like, I dream that I can't find the songs that I want to play. Parang the board is familiar, but I just can't find it. Interpret it. I don't understand what it means.
I need to know what was going on in your life when you had
At
that
the
dream.
time,
So that I need a break. Sorry.
Okay.
Go Jelly. You say
Okay.
to her.
No, my question naman, do you still recall which part of your sleep you had your dream? Was it like in the beginning? Was it in the middle or towards the end
snap.
upon
I don't know.
waking up?
I Like,
because that also it would also depend on that. Because if, for example, if you had your dream at the early part of your sleep, it's a processing dream. Like you're basically just processing the events of the day or whatever is going on in your life. If you had it in the middle of your sleep, probably within your second or third sleep cycle, it would be a predictive dream. And then the latter part, if it's upon waking up, it's a venting dream, meaning you're just releasing. For
how would I
example,
know?
um, you would
What
know more or
state?
less, yeah, like you were dreaming and then you woke up, so you know that's already towards the end
Ah.
of your sleep cycle, or that
Oh,
was
this is
already
like the
towards the end
middle.
of your sleep. Okay, so
I
it's
would
a
say like
predictive
really like in the
dream.
middle of the dream.
So it would be a predictive dream, and it would be related to whatever is going on in your life. So for example, with whatever it is that you encountered, it's possible that you are already thinking whatever it is that you're working on, you don't know how to do it yet. You haven't
Okay.
you don't have it figured out. You're already predicting, if, like for example, if there's a project you're working on and then you'd have a dream like that, it's possible that you're thinking you are ill equipped to work on that project.
That makes sense.
That
That
would
makes
be your predictive dream. You're already predicting that it's not going to go well because you're not ready. You haven't done your homework. You haven't done what is needed of you to be able to push through with that project. Sort of like that. So it depends.
Okay.
You have to think of which part of your sleep your dream happened.
That would make sense. So it has nothing to do with the radio. It has nothing to do
No.
with. Oh, okay. Okay. It makes sense.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait, what was happening in your life at the time?
Probably like anything to do with sweet ecstasy.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm
There
not
you go.
prepared. Like I'm supposed to know it, but I don't know it.
Mm.
Yeah. It makes
or
sense.
that yeah, that you don't know what to.
Oh my gosh.
Say hello.
Oh my gosh. It's the artista.
I know.
Hello,
This is
my
my little
future
artist.
Star. Going to my Oscars, okay? The awards. Oh my God! Look at you! Oh my God!
Talk to you later. Go bug your brothers. Come on. Go bug your brothers. You don't want to. Okay.
I don't want to. So
No, but
cute.
a lot of it, then it was probably your sweet ecstasy.
Yes.
That you know that you're trying something new, and you don't quite know how to. It's like parang you're winging it, eh. But then you put the pressure on yourself by identifying it with your radio self
Right.
that you know what to do.
Yeah, I'm
but in this
supposed
new
to
endeavor,
know.
You're
I'm
supposed
supposed
to know.
but I don't.
So the anxiety is, will I know what to do when the time comes? Clutch time, what are you going to do? You know, I really used to do this very well for my friends, but I can't do it for strangers. I need to know what's happening to the one who's dreaming it, so I
Yeah.
can.
Need to know the context. Wait, just so people know, yes, Fran has a dog. It's a black dog.
Oh, why?
Are
Are
they
they
scared?
It's Megatron. Natatakot. May mga natatakot.
Like a furry rug walking around your
sorry? Yes, he's like he listens to the voices and he gets annoyed. So it's like what the fuck, mom? Stop talking.
Parang yung J-Lo picture na may guy na,
Yes!
di ba?
I saw that.
That's so freaky.
Wait,
But
sorry.
yeah,
It's just my dog,
the dreams.
Megatron.
The dreams are. I think that's also one way to see how you really feel about what's happening.
I
right,
used to,
like right now.
I was really into like deciphering dreams. Back
Yeah.
in the day.
The dream I had, one of the dreams I could share with you was, I think it was with you guys, and for some reason there was a door that was open, and Charlie went in, and he ran into the room, scaring a snake, and the snake started to slither. You know how snakes don't really, most of them slither sideways.
Yeah.
And so this snake was slithering, probably got scared by Charlie, but then caught my feet because Charlie was too fast and I was walking behind him. By the time the snake got to me, it hit my feet, my legs, and it started biting me repeatedly. And I remember thinking, oh crap, I just don't want that poison to get into my eye. And it was like successive attacks. And then I was just looking like, where's the wound? I couldn't find the wound. But so I was trying to understand what was going on with me then.
What does that mean?
And what did you figure out?
Did you relate it to anything?
So when I read up on it, it could be many things. One, it could also be desire, because snakes are beautiful, right? But that's not the feeling I got when I was there. It wasn't desire or anything. It was just being hurt and being attacked by a very formidable enemy, in this case, the snake. And I didn't feel the pain, but I just didn't want to be blinded. So I think that also comes to like my fear right now, I have really crazy fears. Obviously, I'm projecting into the future. So I think I'm scared of what's going to happen economically to everybody. And I just don't want to I just don't want to lose sight of what's happening. So I can, if I'm so afraid of it, I can't look at it, right? I can't really address it. So something like that, I think.
Interesting.
But the vivid dreams. Maybe if you guys can write down your dreams, you don't have to share it, but write it down so that in the morning you can kind of look at maybe where your subconscious is at.
Yeah, it's really important to write down your dreams because it does give you an insight on what most troubles you. Sometimes it gives you answers to help you figure out whatever it is that you're problematic about. I had recent dreams of an ex. And I'm like, okay, have I been dreaming a lot about this guy because he is engaged and he's getting married? But then when I started to really look at the details of the dream and when I would have the dream, I realized no, I'm just venting. I'm letting it go. I was like, hey, at least I'm not bothered, because sometimes if you get too stuck up with about, is it because he's thinking of me as well, yada yada yada. No, he's not, honey. you're just letting it go.
See,
give it up.
Somebody on Facebook, CDC, is asking, I remember, Diba Jelly, you had a portion on your radio show about interpreting dreams.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
I don't remember what the title of that particular segment is.
How about deja vu? I get deja vu sometimes, and it's really intense.
Me too.
Right? Like, wow, where did that come from? But it happened before. So I feel, and sometimes I think, if this deja vu sensation is really strong, it feels like there's something bad that's going to happen. And then I try to like voodoo it out of it. Like I don't want it to happen, like whatever bad thing is going to happen.
It means you're in the Matrix.
I know, there's a glitch.
There's a glitch. You're in the Matrix.
You're living in another dimension.
Weird,
No, but
right?
I have a lot of them, and second, sometimes it's just scenes and they're fleeting, like maybe a 3-second feeling, like going through a doorway or stepping out of the car.
Yep.
And I've had very vivid deja vus, and a lot of them have been here. I've seen my house before.
Really?
And yeah, I've seen my house before. I couldn't, even my children, before I had my children, I would dream about these kids and they didn't look anything like me. So I was like, what's that?
Oh, that's so weird, Del.
So if you read up on deja vu, some people think it's your mind tricking you into thinking that you've seen something already.
Ah, okay.
But that's the scientific, of course, they can't really prove it. But some of the experts say it's your mind tricking you into something to think that you've been there. But if you were going to go the other route is, you've seen this before. And I have a lot of them. It is crazy. So I go, what's my brain doing? Can I just tell you, pala? Remember Last Dance, right? So after Last Dance ended, and even through the weeks, between the weeks that it was showing, so I started consuming so much of podcast videos. I watched Minority of One, Kareem
Wow.
Abdul-Jabbar
You really went
documentary.
deep.
I watched The Answer, the Allen Iverson documentary. So I've been doing all these things, right? But even gone into Ali. Di ko
Wait,
lang
what
natapos.
does Tyler think about all this?
There, that's where I'm going at. So he comes up to me, he sidles up to me as I'm doing my chores because the NBA stuff is blaring. He goes, "Why are you watching all of this? You're into basketball now." And I told him, I really couldn't tell you. I don't think it's basketball. I'm not interested in the game. I'm interested in the fascination about this man. Because I can't, my brain can't seem to explain it. Like, we've seen Michael Jordan talk in interviews, and yet after all of the 10-part documentary, you're still found wanting. So I'm fascinated with the fascination
Of it,
of it.
him.
And I told him, but not just him, it's how the commentators, when they talk, it's like life and death, like who's the GOAT, who's the best, who's the next. And then I'm looking at it in a perspective of, why are we so wrapped up in this? Why does it have to be like, should there just be one GOAT, the greatest of all time? I mean, we have to question why we also need that, right? And then everything. So sabi ko lang sa kanya, before going on radio, I remember consuming so much stuff that I didn't understand. But I don't know what my brain was doing. I just followed my curiosity. And come game time, I got into radio. Every time most people ask something, I could draw from the things that I've already seen, I've already read, I've already watched. And so if I'm interested in basketball, just kind of leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't know what my brain is doing. I don't know what my brain is doing. I mean, we had a fight about it.
Oh, because he's such a Utah Jazz fan.
No, because it really the fight devolved into like, it was so bad. But I wanted to tell him, look, I don't give a shit if Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I really don't give a shit. I'm just wanting to know something, and I don't know what it is. I'm just going to follow my brain. And if I'm still, I don't know, maybe in the
It will come in
future.
handy. Yeah.
And
Wait,
it was
but
such a...
But siya galit. Why did you fight?
So exactly. So we were talking about
Triggered.
it. Yes. And that was my point. I told him, I understand if you don't believe he's the GOAT, that he did this because the day that Michael Jordan agreed to this documentary was the day that what happened to LeBron? He was coming closer
parade.
to the parade.
Yeah.
So the thinking is that Michael Jordan wants to do this because for the first time he feels like someone is getting close to the title, right?
Right.
So Tyler was telling me, no, he owns that. I go, no, he doesn't own the footage. So anyway, we got into this, and he's like, you don't believe me. And I go, so I go, look, just to be clear, I don't really give a shit about basketball. I don't give a shit about Michael Jordan or LeBron James. But I do want to make up my own mind. So even if you tell me certain things, kung dalawa lang tayo in the privacy of our home, you want me to believe what you have to say, I would. But I need to go on the podcast. And what am I going to say when people question what I say? Oh, my husband told me, he's my source. I can't do that.
Yeah, right.
And so at the beginning, I was really calm about it. All this meditating has helped. I was so calm until a certain point. After that certain point, I was out of the room. I was like, dude, I don't know. Okay. So I don't know why you feel the need to control how I feel about Michael Jordan.
Wait, can I say, I realized why, when I was watching the show, when I was watching The Last Dance, I realized why Tyler feels so strongly against Michael Jordan. Right?
And it's not just that. It's not just what's in the documentary. It's how he's talked to the people around him, how he dealt with meron siyang mga facts. But
sure. But like let's say if I'm just gonna take it on The Last Dance, I mean, and Jude, maybe you can correct me on this or you can support me on this, but it's like at that time, Tyler was around, like, let's say Al's age, and Al was telling me how important these games were, and for the Bulls to be against the Jazz in that aspect, and then the Jazz to be that, like
Close.
they were
That-
so. Diba they poisoned him. They
No,
poisoned him.
but but even
Yeah,
that, I followed that.
so-
But I followed that. And they had the guy guest on the herd, the
Okay.
delivery guy who made the pizza.
The 5 people who visited him.
So he said
And we're
no, there were
waiting
just 2
outside.
people.
Okay.
There were only 2 people. Him, kasi nga he was a Jordan fan. And he
Okay.
said, look, one of my kids is named blank Jordan. Blank.
Okay.
So he's and he didn't want anybody to do
Okay.
anything to the pizza. So anyway,
okay.
there's a lot of all of these things, but that's to me beside the point.
Right.
Because you can get any fact right now to support your hate for the man, or get any fact to support your love for the man.
Right.
This is the world we live in, right? We're looking at the same picture. Our filters are different.
Yes.
So my point was that, okay, I understand, but in this case, I can't say that I feel it like you. And then he said, but don't you know I know more about basketball than you do? I go, I admit that.
Yeah.
I know nothing about basketball. And that's not why I'm here. And that's not, if I knew about basketball, do you think I'd be consuming this much? Like from the moment I wake up, after I know what stupid thing Trump has done for the day, I go to NBA. That was my thing.
Yeah.
And then, and so I was like, so here's the thing. I don't know why there is some trigger for you that's getting angry for not being able to control my feeling about this.
Okay.
Because he said Michael Jordan
No,
pushed
because
Brian Russell.
at that
So-
time, in that moment, when he was a young kid, it was all about that. Because Al had explained, like, he was a young kid. It was all about that, right? So his emotions were 120%. You know, there was no, let me look at it like a reporter in an unbiased view. It was just, I'm Utah Jazz. I am this. And we don't like Michael Jordan. And I think it's a carryover. So it's a carryover until now. That's why he's lashing out at you.
I don't think he even was on the basketball scene at the time. Because
Was he not?
I don't think so, because he got to basketball, but then he,
So
started
he
consuming,
kind of
consuming,
absorbed
consuming.
it,
So he's 5.
like,
So he would be how old when Jordan was? What,
I don't know, because like
6?
Al remembers
Would have been
it.
6,
Al remembers,
1991
like,
is
games. And but are they the same age?
35,
Yeah.
35,
Yeah.
turning 35, right?
So
But for me, it's not even what we're talking about. I was more like, you gotta question yourself why you're so affected by this. I mean,
Why are
really,
you
like,
triggered?
why? Because
Triggered.
he doesn't really look at the guy in a very glowing light. Like this is not even a documentary. It's all and blah blah blah. So I go, but that's beside the point. Let's just set that aside. And then he even told me, then do you know why he said yes to this documentary? It was because LeBron blah blah. I go, yes, that's his right. Even if that were true, wouldn't it be someone's right if you held the record for something? Wouldn't it be your right to remind people it's
Yeah.
still not a bad thing? So we're done with that. So what are you coming at me with? Because that's what you really need to listen to. Yun lang, I lost it. Nagalit na rin ako. Kasi, ang kulit mo ah. Ang kulit mo masyado ha. I'm trying to be all zen about this and then you're like pushing me. I'm not really a Buddha kind of girl, you know?
Chris Aquino, is that you?
I know.
like
Jude, what do you think? What do you think, Jude?
Well, what? Well,
I mean, what do you think? As
first
like a
of
guy,
all,
you see both sides.
First of all, see Tyler lost Jerry Sloan, the Jazz family lost
Yes,
a great
he
coach
passed
just
away.
recently. And
Yeah.
he was a coach in those battles against MJ and the Bulls.
Yes. Right.
And I think watching back then, you realize that Jerry Sloan pala played for the Chicago Bulls, and not only that, he has his number 4 retired. It's up in the rafters. So it was a nice side story about where Jerry Sloan came from as a basketball player, and then made his way to become a long tenured coach for the Jazz. putting his brand of basketball into that team and that the DNA, and that's why si Tyler and for sure si Cooper and Parker siguro when they grow up, that's what they're gonna grow up with, watching the Jazz play basketball and all the other local sports teams because you root for
They're already
that.
getting started.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's where
and
it's rooted.
Ava. Ava was named after Jerry Sloan. That's why her name is Ava,
Ava
Sloan.
Sloan.
Yeah,
Well,
it
there
was
you
from.
go.
Yeah,
Because
that's how much of a basketball.
Here's the thing.
Oh.
You see how much Tyler has, even if he doesn't remember it when he was a kid, like he's imbued all this Utah jazzness. And I think that's why
But
he's so
it-
triggered.
But no, because I thought that too. Only I have a lot of his friends come over to the house and they've been talking about it. And these are Utahns as well. And so they don't have that. Tyler has a very, very strong sense of what's right and what's wrong. And
I
he
agree.
he really does. And a lot of times I can see that the way if something is so bad, he sees, let's just say to him, a person is doing something very bad. He really can't tolerate it. He will push back. He will confront. And I think that maybe part of his anger is that he can't confront. How? This is a Michael Jordan. It's more than just about the man. It's the myth around him. And he doesn't agree with how he's handled his teammates. It's not a good heart. Plainly put, he gets affected with people who are bad. As a matter of fact, when I was still in the Philippines and I was, I had people around me, he will tell me, I don't like this person. This person is not a good person. Don't ask me why. I don't think so. Then years later,
True
he's
enough.
proven right. And even sometimes when he doesn't tell me, I realize that he doesn't engage. Even if these people are around me, he will probably just say a quick hi. But in the years and years that we have been together, if this person has been with me for whatever, in business or whatever, he won't sit down and be polite. He won't sit down. But if he likes someone, then he can interact.
Right.
If he doesn't interact with you, either he doesn't like you or he has nothing, he doesn't know how to
Nothing.
approach you.
Yeah.
But I think that sense of he thinks Michael Jordan is not a good person, not worthy of your adoration or admiration. Yeah, ganon. And then so I was thinking,
Gets ko yan.
Di tanungin mo na lang, Odell.
Yeah.
So,
Gets ko
you-
talaga. I mean, that is how, in a nutshell, that is how Tyler is. And I get it.
Go.
just indulge him and say, okay, so why didn't Carmelo hang out with
Carmelo.
John Stockton afterwards, or they never did
Afterwards, yeah.
because it didn't really matter. But then it's fascinating to know that these guys perfected their type of basketball for many years in Salt Lake City, and for me anyway, to find out that they're not buddy off the court, back when I was younger, was
It seemed like
fascinating.
it. Oh, really?
Yeah, well, John Stockton lives in Salt Lake, I think, and he's planted his roots there. But Carmelo went back to Louisiana, I think, and that's where he is now in his retirement. Happy being.
He's a badass. He's a badass. I saw, his interviews post like as recent as 3 years ago. The way he talks about things, he's a badass. The man's.
At saka
He would
sport
always
talaga
roll
siya.
in his motorcycle, diba? He'd roll in
Oh, he's a good sport. I mean, you saw the footage, and we're talking about it just very briefly. He would go up on the opposing team's
The
bus.
bus.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that footage, you never really saw that unless you were really a fanatic, because that's what he did off cam after the press conference,
Yeah.
and you'd see some of that during the last dance, siguro, and also when they talked about how close Scottie Pippen was with Carmelo, diba? They're buddies.
Scottie Pippen was close to Karl Malone.
Yeah,
Nice.
back then and
I
still even now. So apparently,
I
But
think,
how
you
come
know-
Carl didn't get interviewed?
Yeah,
He
I was
didn't
gonna
He
ask.
refused.
Last
He
Dance.
didn't want to.
Didn't want
He didn't
to.
want to.
John
Appar-
Stockton was in there, but Carl Malone
that
wala
was so
talaga.
nice. John
But
Stockton was the
Stockton
last to ano.
Yeah.
He was trying to. The director was trying to get to him, and he wouldn't
yeah.
return calls.
He was the last to
But
say
then-
yes to the interview.
But you could also see, like, for example, fresh ko si Reggie Miller, ha? He's
Ganda
He was
ng
cute,
mata.
bakit siya cutie? No, but also I think that his perspective on things is like he's still saying what he needs to say,
Yeah.
but it's devoid of. There's that. Parang he's just a nice guy, you know. You would want to hang out with him anyway.
Arrogance.
Yeah, and I think what I got from him and John Stockton was that mind games pa lang, they weren't defeated. In their minds, he's just a man. Michael Jordan is just a man.
Yes.
He's just a player.
He's not
And-
black
but the-
Jesus.
Kasi with some people talaga in their minds pa lang, di ba, stepping onto the court, they have
like-
this feeling about him. Yeah, the
Of course.
reverence or fear. But there
Yeah,
were some players
intimidated.
who didn't feel like that. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also feel like, wow, that's something that shows
Yeah.
you something, right?
Galing.
See, there's so much to talk about.
There is
Why
so much
would
to
I
talk
be
about.
interested? I mean, honestly. And then, part of what I was thinking was, because I wanted to get into it and create little, like, 5-minute discussions on it as an exercise. What I love about the story is that any great story seems to combine two opposite emotions
Yeah.
every time.
Right.
In the story of Michael Jordan, the two opposing emotions for me is that you're so amazed by him at the greatness, at the maniacal drive to just win
Right.
at all costs. But at the same time, yes, what does it take to do that?
Yeah.
There's really an effect where it's not going to be nice.
But
For example,
I think what Tyler needs to like that Michael Jordan admits it as much. Like people didn't like him, like that's the he got teary eyed thinking like, but if people don't get how I play,
then don't play
then-
that way.
then don't play that way.
Don't play
Because
that
this
way.
is because this is how I am. Diba? I'm not a good guy, but I'm gonna get you the championship. I don't know. For me, that's how I watched and how I digested how Michael Jordan is.
I know. And it's like, but see that, I think that's why we won't finish talking about him maybe even in the decades to come. If we could pigeonhole him as a good guy, a two-dimensional guy, our interest in the man has died.
Right? Yeah.
But it doesn't, because it's always affection the drive
Yes.
that led him to this is also the thing that alienates weaker players.
Right.
I mean, even the way that he would lose, and if you really think he's so mean, then why did he feel that way about his father? Or
Yes.
there's just so much. For me, that was beside the point. The Michael Jordan part was not what I was interested in. It's the fact that where is your frustration coming from? Is it because I'm a stupid girl who doesn't know anything about basketball, and you think I'm believing everything?
Yes.
But then I would plead my case where, if I'm learning, then give me space. Don't push me around to feel one way or another, because I'm going to do that on my own. Right? I'm going to consume and then make up my own mind. So for me, it wasn't about me. It was about him. Why are you triggered? Which is a reminder of also what happened to the Sanaya thing. That people sometimes use other issues,
Yeah.
but the emotions that we have riding on that issue has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When we get angry at traffic, a lot of times, yes, is traffic frustrating and infuriating? Yes. But when we go overboard with how we feel about it, then that's your cue that something is riding on it. Some other part of your life where your discontent is finding its way to that issue and venting out all the other angst that you feel in another part of your life. I don't know if that's even sane sounding, but that was my last dance experience.
I get
We
it.
usually would have it on a Monday. We don't have it anymore today. So sayang. I really wish there were more episodes. I was most fascinated with how Michael Jordan would create stories in his head to motivate him.
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
ask players, "Did you really say that?
Yeah.
Did that really happen?" And Michael Jordan's like, "No, he just made it up, so he has something to push him."
Yeah, those
Isn't
perceived
that crazy?
slights.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
whatever,
he'll make it up.
whatever makes you go, right? You got to
Yeah.
do it. And
Like
that's
that
why,
coach he ignored. Either
Yeah.
if he ignored him or if he talked to him, both ways, wala siya. Wala siyang panalo. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I think that is why that really makes him the GOAT. He is really the greatest of all time. For me, watching this, I mean, I'm a cursory fan of Michael Jordan. I watch this and then I can go deep dive into all the articles. But like what this showed me, this Last Dance documentary, was that his mindset is clearly unique. Like nobody thinks that way. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people think that way. Maybe Kanye West. Who knows? I don't know. He's crazy.
No, some people
right?
do.
Because-
Except that we, yeah.
It's a unique sense of self and way you think and like how you act upon these things that make you the greatest.
I mean, a part of me was like always watching what the parents were doing to him. Because let's face it, as parents, we all wish that our children will be great in whatever task that they want to take on as they grow up, right? We want
Right.
a genius. We want
Yeah.
an amazing child who does crazy, amazing things, right? So part of my brain was looking at how the parenting was. And they were there at every moment, at every game,
They just
talking to
supported
him about
him.
yeah, and as a parent, I mean, is that my way into flicking the switch to greatness in my kid? Is that the way to do it? So when I'm watching all these things, like all the tabs in my brain, from parenting to broadcaster, the way the story was told, the music he chose, all of these tabs are open. So it was like for me, I just was so engaged at everything, trying to learn. I don't know what I'm trying to get, but I'm trying to get something. But nagalit yung asawa ko, so away kami nan.
Did you reconcile? I mean, did you like
I
come
walked
to
out of
terms?
the room. I walked out of the room.
So that was
Hindi
it.
ko kinaya. Oo, sabi ko, ay, nag-fail ka. Because I was so calm about it. And I understand, parang I had it here. I understood what was happening. I wasn't getting swayed by my emotion. But then, just like in meditation, you lose it 1 minute and gone.
Pero nakakatawa, there's another side of Del that's lumalabas nga yung pagiging Chris Aquino mo.
What? How dare you? How dare you say I'm a Chris Aquino? I'm not an Aquino. I'm an Arias.
Oh my goodness.
I'm excited for a documentary on Kobe Bryant. There was this one night I was drinking wine and I was just binging on YouTube videos of the guy, his interview with Patrick Bet David, an interview with Jay Shetty. Fascinating then the way his mind works and what motivates him. Galing.
The air traffic controller who took the call of the helicopter that day, they're just waiting for, I think, some legal stuff to be finished. But he does want to talk about it because he's now into therapy because of that.
I would be
that
too.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
For
guy,
everything.
maybe Jude can tell us who's Matt Barnes. He's a ball player. Matt Barnes.
Yeah, teammate ni Kobe.
Teammate.
One time, they played against each other. They became teammates and possibly friends.
So he got approached in the grocery store, just like in the last how many weeks that The Last Dance was playing, and this guy said, "Hey, are you Matt Barnes?" And he was weirded out because he couldn't tell. There was no tell that it was Matt Barnes because he had a mask and a cap, but somehow he got made by this guy. And he said, "I would be willing to talk about taking the call from the crash." And so
After the crash.
Yeah. So this happened like
or traffic control.
the air traffic control approached Matt Barnes in the grocery to say that, hey, I took that call. There's a lot to be said about what happened that morning.
Oh man.
But so he's going to talk. I think just the legal stuff has to be finished, the investigation, before he can say his story.
I think what came out
Wow.
recently in the news was the death was instantaneous when they crashed into the hillside during that day because of the weather conditions.
Right.
You want to hope that it was like that, right? Like
Yeah,
they didn't feel
that's what
anything, right?
I do the medical examiner said. I think and how they identified the bodies and so on and so forth.
That's
But
crazy.
I follow his wife religiously on IG.
Oh, really?
Every
Mhm.
post she has. Earlier she had a post about her baby girl walking, taking her first steps.
Oh.
And I am like, my heart is like, oh my God. Like, they had a baby. They had a baby. Their bunso is just taking their first steps. And as a mom, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how she feels losing two important pieces of her life. And I'm saying this because I'm so drunk on wine. But
No, that's good because it's still the truth. It's just
because
unfiltered.
it is really unfiltered, and I watch it and I am like heartbroken all the time. Every time I see her post about anything about Gigi, about Kobe, about her baby, anything Vanessa Bryant posts, it's like a stab to my heart.
Because you're a wife and you know that at the back of wives' minds, it's definitely, something that's in the back of my head all the time. Like, what if I
Right.
had to raise my children by myself?
Yeah.
That is such a scary thought. Like, I don't even want to get into it. I'm not even drunk, but I'm tearing up. That's how potent that thought is, right?
Got it. Yeah.
It really is potent. And I remember we were talking on the Mother Show. We had VP Robredo there, and we talked about how when she found out that her husband had died and how she talked
Right.
to her kids about it. And Ricky, Andy, and I were looking at her, and without saying anything to each other, we all had the same thought, which is, isn't that what we're all afraid of? That if our partner, for whatever reason,
Goes.
can't be with us, and we would have to raise our children. We're
Yeah.
not just talking about economics here. We're talking
Yes.
about the emotional toll, the psychological toll of raising men
Right.
and women.
Right.
And it was so crazy because I was thinking, here's my feet in my head. There is this woman in front of us. How do you even like start picking up pieces here? How? And she gave a great answer, and so simple. She just said, wala na tayong magagawa, andito na eh. In a weird way, that is acceptance.
Yeah.
When you can't seem to get a grip of something heavy that's happened to you, a part of it is because you haven't accepted it. Right? You negotiate like, no, I want to live there where he's still alive, or let's say just losing a lot of money. When you
Right.
can't accept that you've gone bankrupt, that's when seemingly all the problems come up. But once you've accepted that this is the situation now what do we do? Then the creative mind takes hold.
Yeah.
Solve problem solving. Oh, this is what we do now. This is what we do now. This is what stuff like that. But yeah, so I think the fear of us is probably what's also making you gravitate towards Vanessa Bryant's IG.
Posts. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe that happened this year
Inom
too.
na lang.
Because COVID-19
January lang yun.
January lang yun, diba? And now this? What the?
What are we? What month are we in? I don't even understand. What day is it? I don't know. It's like
Guys,
almost-
in a few days, half of the year, we're entering almost half of the year.
Yeah.
it's like all blending into each other.
It'll be
And
June in a week. So
right? I
Yep.
feel
Oh my
okay. Here's the thing.
gosh.
I feel that we need to accept this. I mean, obviously, with all our episodes, it's like the faster that you adapt to this new norm, the better. And like, I don't even know how. Like tomorrow, I have pest control. I have to go out of the house. So
Oh my
like,
gosh.
yeah. So I told my mom, like, Mom, like, I haven't seen my mom. I mean, I've seen her, but I haven't gone into her house in like 2 months, and I haven't been out. I've been very good. I've not like gone to the grocery. I literally, this is how I'm thinking. Like, Mom, I'm not gonna go to the grocery until after I see you, because like I have to go to her house to be there because I have to be out of my house for 2 hours because of pest control.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. You have to spend it somewhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm thinking, okay, we're safe. We're gonna go there. We're gonna take a shower. We're gonna change into clothes. I can hug my mom. David can hug his Lola. And he's so excited about it. He's so
Aw.
excited about it. My
Yeah.
mom is over the moon because she gets to hug her apo. And it's like, and then part of me is like, okay, maybe you shouldn't do this. But part of me is like, well, this is life now. So you're going to have to adapt to it. So you're going to have to take all the protocols that you can
Mhm.
and
How
just
how do you go from your
do it.
city to her city?
Oh, well, yeah, just drive. Sorry. I can't.
They won't
Do you
stop
have to
you.
show? Yeah, do you
Yeah,
have
do
to
you have to
show
show?
Oh, well,
anything?
no, I have the IATF. I have an ID. Thank you.
Okay. Because I remember last time, I think the enforcer suggested to you that if you'll be visiting your mom more often to bring her
Citizen?
groceries, yeah,
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
have to
Yeah, so
show
I
her
have her
senior
senior
citizen card.
citizen ID,
Mm.
but I also have the company ID because I work for a restaurant. So
Okay.
let's hope. But I mean, I'm going to be with my son, so I don't know. It's also very medyo taxing for me.
Okay.
It's just a new way of learning how to go about your
Yeah.
business, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes. Because
like
how can you not? Life is also short. Like, am I gonna live I'm thinking, okay, this is just me thinking out loud. Am I gonna live my life not seeing my mom, not hugging my mom?
Yeah.
No naman. Diba? Parang, what kind of life is that? And I understand all the safety protocols that we have to take.
Mm.
Like, I mean, I'm Dell, she's in Utah. Everybody's like very far apart from each other, but you're luckily you can see your in-laws, and with us, because we live in a city,
it's
we
hard.
have it's hard. We have to take precautions. I have not gone out. I have to do the grocery, and I said, my mom, I'm not gonna do grocery until I see you, until
At least
Okay.
I'm still
so
sanitized.
it's so weird. It's just so weird.
I had a
How are-
conversation with my mom earlier tonight, just finding out how she would be able to fly back in
Yeah.
July. And I told her, well, I don't know if there will be domestic flights by then,
Mm.
but if she does make it back and then she will stay in Manila for a week before she flies back to Canada. I'm like, paano to? I need to make sure that you are all healthy and safe because you're bringing that into the home, and I have a little girl right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So she's like, I need to be quarantined from Juliana, and I'm like, oh, come on, you can't just stay in the room when you do fly back. You know what, you're going to be eating in the room and you're just going to stay in the room the whole time. Juliana would want to see you and play with you because you'll be leaving in a week. And when she goes back to Canada, I don't know what their conditions are for people who come from Southeast Asia. And well, she's not worried. She said she'll be quarantined. She lives alone anyway. She'll just be at home. But I'm like, okay, who's going to be taking care of you? I mean, you won't be out and about getting your own groceries. How do you
Yeah.
know there'll be people who will be willing to bring you those groceries? It's not like she's very good with technology that she can order online and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
don't know how it's going to happen.
So here's the thing. You need to help. If you are with your parents or whatever, you have to help them equip themselves on how to use technology, on how to order online. You really have to. It's non-negotiable because
Mhm.
this is our life right now. And this is very serious. I'm not even kidding. Like, you need to, it's like, I'm sorry, if you can't get with the times. No, you have to get with the times. I told my mom, you need to learn how to do this. I am sorry. You
But I
need to
think
learn how to order online.
I think before, when you say that to older people, there was a choice. They didn't have to learn technology because they could go about their way,
But now no
doing
more.
Their old
yeah.
ways.
But now, if you don't do that, you don't eat. If you don't do that, you don't get what you need from the store.
Yes.
So I think the necessity part of the equation is what's going to push a lot of senior citizens. Although, just like Mom said, the kids have to be there because you're more tech savvy than your parents. So you're tech support. Get on.
You are the IT department for all the senior citizens.
Your family. That's right.
Yes, you have to, and you have to exercise patience. I do that with my mom, and I do that with my dad, and like you need to do it. I said, like, it's a good investment. Invest in internet.
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
sorry, you
Yeah.
have to. Ito na yun eh. Yun na yun. Sorry. I
Yeah,
had a thought. I had a thought and I forgot it. I'm so sorry.
Write it down, dude. Because you're drunk yet. Oh, while you're
I am.
thinking about it, just
I'm
talking
super.
about senior citizens, getting their act together online. That happened to Conan. That happened to Ted Danson when he was, people need to get with it, and it's not acceptable to say, "Oh, I'm not gadget savvy. I'm not tech savvy." Well, you gotta, because that seems to be most of the way we're going to do this connection thing with other people by way of gadgets and the internet.
Yep.
I think in my mom's case, she'll just say, ikaw na nga. Oh, she'll probably tell my brother to order for her. He's in Seattle, she's in Canada. Go on the Canadian websites and order for me.
It's so easy. You just have to show them the way. You just have to be very, very patient and show them. Like I tell
think
my mom.
My brother is the one who will have to do or maybe not my brother because they're always butting heads. It might be my sister-in-law.
You have to.
I don't even know if
talaga.
she'll be able
I
to
don't know.
travel back because if there are no domestic flights or we'll see. That's in July.
I remember before we wrap up, I remember what story I had to share. So my cousin and my uncle flew back from LA to the Philippines. So the process was when they flew back, when they arrived at NAIA, they had to get swabbed, they had to get tested. And then after they got tested, they had to pick whether they were going to stay at a government facility or they were going to stay at a place of their own, like a hotel. But it was supposed to be like a qualified hotel breakfast. The government had a list. Government facility, it's somewhere, and if you stay at a bed and breakfast, it's somewhere else. And then they give you the amount of how much it is per night, because you're supposed to stay there until your test comes out. So it's 3 to 5 days. So when you fly back in, and this is very important to me because obviously Jade or Atis SS. So there's
the owl sighting.
What's he wearing this time?
nothing. Just white briefs. I am so
Tuloy.
sorry. So sorry. So
Okay,
sorry.
now we've seen the Tyler's kiss. We've had an owl sighting. We are good.
This
Okay,
is the
anyway.
this is the reward for staying as long as you have watching.
Yes, I am so sorry. Okay,
That's your
so
treat.
anyway, so you stay until you get your results for your test, whether it's 3 or 5 days. Sabi na 3 to 5 days. So my tito and my cousin stayed siguro mga 4 days in the hotel of their choice. Yun. And then if you but so the DOH will fix your travel from the hotel to your place. They will take care of it. Yeah, so that's how that goes. So if you have people who are planning to fly in, that is the protocol.
They have stricter measures for
Yeah,
that's what
but
happened to me
as soon
if I
as
fly
you
back.
as soon as you land, you cannot see them. Yeah.
Wait,
It's in some parts of the world, like in Austria, it takes 3 to 4 hours after you arrive. They
Ang
swab you.
galing.
Yeah, for 3 to 4 hours, and then that's it. You get your result, and if you're negative, you can go. And then they just get your details so they can trace you.
Right.
But otherwise, but it's good also for your own peace of mind. Then you're not sick, and you're not bringing it to whoever you need to.
But there are different tests, kasi. There's different tests from, like, you get it from the hospital or you get it from the ones that are that will give it to you in 3 to 4 hours. The ones that are from the hospital are the ones that are better. Parang ganon. That's what I gather from my cousin who was a doctor. But
Wait, can I just read a couple of comments on
Yeah, sure.
Facebook?
Sure.
People are loving the Al sighting. Tony De Leon, ooh, topless. Toy CV Lena, see, it was well worth the wait, huh? I was waiting for that. Amy
Okay.
Concepcion, Janelle Margot calls Al the undie model. Joel loving it in undies. And then they're saying, can we have your entry, Jelly? Wala ba from Roda? Oo nga, Roda sighting, wala. Calling Mr. Roda. Jelly entry, please. Guys, gaya nga na sinabi ni Fran, nag-away nga, diba? So walang Jelly entry tonight.
tomorrow.
Wait, paano yan? Sorry,
Baka
just
bukas.
tell me. Tell me if you don't want to talk about it, but I'll pose the question. So what happens now if you fought? Because it's such a small place. What happens? Do you ice them
What
out
do you
for a
do?
while?
Ignore each
I
other?
don't know. We we've never really fought, so I don't know. Yeah, we don't.
So
diba?
it's the first time that you fought in quarantine?
Yeah, we don't fight. So this is we'll see.
Well, the universe has given you a situation.
Nung galit na galit ako, I'm like,
You can have
Jelly,
Jelly, you can have angry sex. That's what you're gonna do.
God.
Ren! My God! Okay, here's the thing. I'm not that drunk. I'm very coherent, and I really believe that you should just have angry sex.
Never mind the emotional mess. Jelly will be
It's
in.
okay. Whatever.
she
You can
caps
just
it
forget
off.
about it. No,
Fran
here's the
says
thing.
that,
Okay,
right? She
wait.
caps it off with
I have a
lip
question. I have a question for all of you. Have you never had sex without emotional baggage, just like sex? Come on, my daughter watches this. Tell the truth. I'm very honest with my daughter. Obviously, she said, "Mom, I listened to your podcast." I said, "Which one?" She said, "Sex education." I said, "Oh
What
shit!"
did she say? What reaction did she give you?
Oh yeah, she just said she listened to it.
Okay. So she didn't mind that you had a little snippet of
Yeah,
her-
no, I said, "Oh, did you hear what I said about you?" She's like, "Yes." I said, "Okay." It's okay.
Okay.
It's too early for Dell, I know.
No, I have an answer.
Okay.
I don't, unless you're having, even if you were having sex with an object or a sex worker, the act of sex rides with it a lot of things, emotions being one of them.
So never.
No, every time you get into, because even if you're talking, how can you take away the feeling part?
Okay, no.
Emotional
Like
baggage.
you're just like super. Okay, I'm very drunk, but I mean, you're super horny.
That's not the name. He's so drunk. He's coherent.
Okay, wait.
No,
No, I'm
what I'm
very
saying, I'm
coherent.
actually agreeing
But I'm
with you.
very unfiltered. I'm very unfiltered. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. What if you're just like super like in the mood, and you just need to let it out?
But even if
No?
you were just in the mood, you would have emotions, won't you? I mean, part of who you are as a human being, opening yourself up to anybody, whether it's somebody you love or
Call
somebody.
a helpline. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Who are you calling?
No, what I'm saying
Nobody.
is,
Gino.
I think you would have any kind of emotion would still. It just depends on what emotion and how much of it is
Yun
riding
nga.
on
Ay,
active
it's
sex.
okay, so how much of it? Like very minimal.
Depending on who I'm having sex with, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, then you can let out the feelings. I mean, for me, that's the great thing about the whole sex act. That there's a part of you that you don't see in any other part of your life.
Right.
And it has to do with the combination of desire, of vulnerability, of drive, of wanting, of needing. I mean, even in the act itself, not only am I giving in to the feeling, but there's a part of me that's aware of who I am in the act.
Okay.
This is what I want. This is what I need. This is how I
Oh.
feel. There's a power. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
entering the act in itself is almost like a religious experience in a way, because for me, it's like meditating. I'm observing so many things while it's happening.
Oh, okay. So
It's
there
not just
is
the physical
no,
act.
It's
Yeah,
not just a physical act.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, I get you, but like there's also the part that's just completely physical. Like completely like, okay, this is just what I need.
My
And
answer to
anything
Fran's question, mine would be a no. I haven't had that kind of sex that just physical. I need to let off steam.
Right.
I'm just
right.
really horny. I haven't had that.
No.
No.
Ever?
Ever.
Yeah, but how about you,
Obviously.
I mean, of course, I've had a one night stand, the one and only in my life, and the reason why I had it was precisely because a part of me wanted to know, because I've seen this, and some people are
If you
messed
can
up
handle
about
it.
Oh, I wanted to know, and a part of me was saying, okay, I don't think I'm gonna find love, but damn it, if I'm going to be celibate until the day I die, I just need to know my way of getting it and who I want to do it with. So I knew that going in, and I've only had one night stand in my life. I don't regret it.
How did you feel
thought
afterwards?
it was so empowered. I didn't want anything from that guy. He's the
Right.
one who fell in love. I
Okay.
mean, I'm totally okay. But
Okay.
I just knew that I was okay. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, but would I do it again?
No.
At the time, I didn't want it. It was not the kind of being physical that suited my wants and desires.
Right.
It's not how I want to be. But no judgment to other people who are into that.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want. Like for me,
I think
opening up my sense of that I would only want to do it if I feel the person I'm doing it
I think
with
it's
has
very
reached a certain
specific. I mean, I
standard.
think like if I say, oh, you need to scratch the itch, you're very horny, you need to have sex. But I mean, obviously that's within a woman's feeling. Just
Prerogative,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
prerogative.
Sabi ni Jelly, pag nakita natin si Jelly next time, sandali! Ay, nako! Kape!
Hindi dyan ang kinakamot, Del.
Ay,
Hindi.
sorry.
Habang gumagabi, the conversation is different.
Yeah, sorry. But I mean, yes, I mean, for the people who are watching, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes women have that, and it's totally okay, and we're not going to judge you. And I understand some people are not like that.
Wait, people are saying.
We're so surprised. It's so telling. when you tell me and Jelly, like, never. You reveal a part of yourself and you react that way. You do understand that.
Wait, no, I mean, it's okay because, I have no shame because women, I mean, you have urges. You have urges.
That's the shirt I'm going to give you. You have urges.
Watch out, guys. If Eavesdrop Podcast ever comes out with merch, that would be one of them.
Yeah, we have urges.
People are saying, mapapa hashtag thank you Jude ka na lang. Wala na siyang magawa.
How many hours? How long has it been?
5.
You have one. Huh? 5
Sorry.
now.
5 hours na sabi
No. Wait.
It feels like it.
2 hours. 2
It
hours.
feels like
So yeah, we
Ako
can
naman,
wrap
ang
it up.
isip ko, ako naman, the way I'm thinking is, let Friends doing a show, guys. Let's just write this. Write this into ratings, the high ratings. God knows what she's gonna say next. No, but this is the Monica that people don't know. We have enjoyed, witnessed, and
This is the
sometimes,
Monica
just
we
like
know
Michael
very
Jordan,
well.
you've been bullied with a drink. Oh.
Yes. No, I don't. I'm not gonna cry about that. I agree. Sorry. And you know, I'm
Yeah, and look at us now, reminiscing about the drinking days.
It's a good Malbec. I am drinking this for you. Can you see it?
Oh.
Yes.
No, it's too bright. You need to block
Wait,
the
Katana?
backlight.
Katena
know.
Malbec.
I don't even know how.
Katana.
Katena Malbec. Yeah, there you
If
go.
you find Red Rock, that's also good, huh? Red Rock.
I'll find it.
Yeah, it's an SNR. I've seen it. Red Rock. is
There's a
pretty
will, there's a way.
Fran, a lot of people can relate to you. Marami ding Fran is my spirit animal.
What I really want is for all of us to drink at the same time, because I've had this feeling where I mean, how many times have we done the podcast where I'm a little tipsy and you guys are so sober and it's insane. Like the next day I hang my head in shame. Like, oh God.
Here's the thing, Delamar. We don't know you're tipsy.
Like, it
we're,
doesn't show.
yeah, we're recording
Yeah.
the show and we think you're like 100% sober. We have no freaking idea that you are tipsy.
Pero talaga, like, what the heck did I say? And I have this thing. Honestly, I'm this is the new thing that I'm working on. Every time I feel like I've said too much, I beat myself up for days after the recording and I don't forgive myself. That's why I don't want to listen to the podcast, right? And I hate it. And now, before I would just flagellate myself until I'm done and then move on. But now I'm seeing that I need to understand why I do that and why there's so much displeasure in the work that I've done. Why do I fucking do that? I hate it. I want to enjoy what I'm doing.
I think because you judge yourself too harshly.
Too much, right? Like, too much. It's too much. It's too much. But I just want to stop that shit. I want to be able to
You should.
yeah, to do the work without hurting myself after emotionally and badgering myself. Your grammar's wrong. You didn't do this.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
You should be like Fran. When I listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, Fran. Like, what did she say? And like, just go.
I can't let it go. That's my
Jude.
ask Jude what? Well, natatakot ako. I don't want to ask Jude.
No, ask Jude because he listens to it 5,000 times over.
I don't want to know. Jude, don't tell me. I'd be too scared to know. I don't want judgment, okay?
And if
Ladies.
you're not afraid, no, here's the thing. Here's the tip. If you're not afraid of Jude's judgment and you know, like, if he's going to tell you something, it's in good form, then it's okay.
You know, I almost messaged you, Fran. I almost messaged you a couple of days ago to say, after that fight with Tyler, I was like, Fran, I need you to show up for me today. I don't
will
know that
show the fuck up.
you know what? But what I wanted was, Fran, let loose. I want you to tell me what you think and
The
what am I
fuck?
doing wrong.
I'm here.
Yeah, you gotta tell me, okay? This is like in 80s language. It's like bull session.
Yes.
And I knew that if I asked you that, I would put you in a position. And I also wanted to know if I could handle it and not have any residual resentment for having you say things that I may not like. And I thought to myself,
Right.
is our friendship that strong?
Oh, Delamar.
Is it strong enough? Pero
Oh,
I really wanted to call you and say, Fran, I need you to be brutally honest with me.
Okay,
Right now,
here's
I
the thing.
can't say. But let's not do it on the recording.
Okay. Can I just tell you? Wait. Can I just say that before this whole COVID experience and everything else, like Dell and I and Dell and her family and my family went on many, like two major vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And like Al and I, we really said, you know, Tyler, Dell, their family's really great to be on a vacation with because you guys are so easy to get along with. And whatever you say, Del, I'm gonna tell you now.
Wait, what? Armor on, vulnerability
God.
on.
What's wrong with you? You don't need your armor, okay? You don't need it.
I'm made of titanium. Okay, game. Sige,
You
go,
don't
go.
need it. No, really don't need it. I mean, we really enjoyed it, and I feel personally that whatever I say to you, you can take, and whatever you say to me, I can take.
Because
I don't
there's
know.
respect.
There's respect. Well, yes, but I don't.
What do you mean? Oh, well, yes.
I don't know if you understand that part of this relationship. Like with Jelly, I think maybe whatever she went through, she knows that I will respect her and I will not judge her.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes, I
Same
know
with
that.
you, Del. I mean, there's like this for me. There's this like unspoken thing that whatever happens, I will not judge you.
Right.
Whatever
Or you
you
could
need.
judge me.
No, well, okay, yes, I will. If ever that happens, I will talk to you about it, but I will never judge you. I think that is
Oh.
my baseline. That I will never judge any of you, Jude, Jelly, Del. I will not judge you. Whatever happens, whatever comes across, it's never judgmental. My
Guys,
digestion of it.
look at Jude.
Sorry.
Do you guys remember how we started this podcast?
Oh, don't
Before
make me
we
the
went
reason,
live.
Jelly, why you want to end the show already.
No,
No.
I remember when we started and remember our pre-prod. Wala lang, natatawa lang ako. Because 2.5 hours after.
Because I know we're
It's
just
true.
getting into the good part. So
I know. Isn't that the producer's conundrum? Like,
Yeah,
damn it, why
it
couldn't
might-
you get to this point earlier on so we don't have
Yeah. Why do we have to take 3 hours? I've been up since 5.
Has it been?
Okay, we got it.
No, wait, my point of the story was I went to SNR and I bought like the peanuts. Do you remember the peanuts that I brought for like was it Galera?
Galera. Yeah, Galera.
Where all we did was eat and drink and whatever. So
I like the whatever part.
So whatever was very interesting, I have to
yeah.
say.
So I bought
stories.
so I bought those roasted peanuts again from SNR and I really remembered it and I was really like, oh, I'm so happy that I got to have that experience with you guys.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. Like just
You-
going out.
And remember when we went on those boats? Small ass fucking boats that we had to take children on? And I was
Oh my
so
God,
scared because
yes.
I was not a great swimmer.
It was such a scary thing. And then the whale shark, Fran. The whale shark. The
whale
friggin'
shark.
whale shark.
So here's the thing. That's why I wanted to invite Christy because Christy was part of this vacation that we took and it was just this amazing experience and this experience that I've never had with other human beings ever before.
Being
And,
scared.
yeah.
Being scared while a big fish is there.
It was like amazing, you know, and I don't know when can we have that again, right? That was my thought. Like when am I going to have that experience again with friends, family, you know,
When we're all in Utah.
but you know, well, fucking Utah, we're going to just like go on hikes and shit, you know, we're not going to go to the beach, ocean.
Yeah, this is landlocked. No, there are lakes
Yeah,
naman,
you're
but
landlocked. So
lakes. Pero hindi, iba kasi yung beach eh. Iba yun
yeah.
eh.
It was just such a great experience. Anyway, I'm rambling, but you know, I hope you get my point. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So next, this is our lesson for this recording that hopefully when we stumble onto the good stuff, it's an early part of the recording, not the latter part.
Well, people are already suggesting maybe we should have an even later start, like 11 p.m. so they get right into the juicy parts.
Kayo,
Yeah.
that's better for me. It works better for me. Like today, I had to get up from bed and I was like, oh shit, I have to go get ready for the podcast, but I want to sleep some more. Oh no. Yeah, but later is better for me, of course. But I don't know with you guys.
Okay. Cool.
It's okay. I will be drunk already. May pregame na ako. Okay, it's fine.
So, gagawin namin nun, if it's going to be a later start, Mon and I are already on Zoom drinking away. By the time we start the podcast, lagot.
Hindi, sige, let's do that. Let's drink like for about 30, 40 minutes without juice.
Iya ka na.
By the time the juice comes in,
Ako na yan.
oh,
You have to drink also.
ready na. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Kasi he's wearing the producer hat. He might not want to drink that much. Somebody has to be the designated driver here, even on Zoom.
Wait, can you drink that early in the morning?
Didn't you hear what Gina said when he guessed it? It was 10 o'clock and I was having my vodka Coke
That
on
is
the
true.
shores of
We'll
Shangri-La
schedule
Boracay.
that. It will be scheduled, Del. Make sure that you prepare the food for the kids the night prior, so they just need to heat it up because
No,
this
just leave
mama's
them to
drinking.
themselves.
Yeah, no, you have to let me know because it will all be prepared and I will take my phone and I will be in my own corner with
Okay.
pillows and
Okay.
candles.
I like it.
And just because it's morning time, so I need to I need to trick my brain into thinking it's late and that I can
Yeah.
relax. Okay, let's the plan. Sounds like a plan.
I'm like this close to buying a weighted blanket. I see it on my sponsored IG posts.
It's really good. It's really
I'm gonna
good.
buy one weighted blanket. Yeah.
But isipin mo lang kung paano mo siya huhugasan. Please.
I
Yes, you have to think about how to wash it. I don't know. I haven't washed mine. It's wrapped in plastic, and so But anyway,
Okay. All right. Okay. Point
one
taken.
for the bus. Okay,
Very
so
smart.
this is really a non-podcast. This is just,
Okay.
this is just ramblings of women.
This is just me drunk. It's okay.
So this
Why
won't go
not?
on. This won't go on. Or you want to listen to it tomorrow again?
No, I don't want to listen to it ever.
Because
it
I
will
know
be up on Facebook.
you're gonna watch this tomorrow, Monica. When you
Your
get
mom is
up.
gonna see this.
No, June.
Okay, so my
Yeah,
mom,
wala
full
kang
disclosure, my family watches this, so
Oh my
Yep, they've
God.
seen the listeners have seen your mom's comments on our Facebook Live.
What did your mom
so
say? What was the
embarrassing,
last
no?
she said?
Grabe.
What did she say?
Diba nga, from the last FB Live, she was
she's-
supportive.
She's all for jelly.
Oh,
Getting some.
Oh. Okay, remember, angry sex. There's anything we take away from Monica tonight, it's angry sex.
Oy, meron din mga ibang special.
This is my life. Just within the household. Even the dentist is telling me, don't spit.
So I'll put those two together. Angry
Meron
snack.
pa isa.
Don't spit, just swallow.
Meron
Ano?
pa isa. Si Monica, we have urges.
Ah.
Urges. You have urges, jelly. Let it out. Doesn't matter.
Urgent urges.
Doesn't matter if you're angry with him. Just let it out. I was gonna say something very obscene, but never mind. Okay.
Oh man, too bad. Why? Come on.
Too bad I have a filter.
Really? Really now?
No,
She says this now. Oh my God. Monica Francesca.
This is not fair. Ako lang yung lasing. Ano ka ba?
No, it's good. We love it. You guys show.
All right. At least
Yeah, you
June
guys-
you will not have like 3 a.m. calls from me. It's okay. It's enough.
Hey,
This is
did you
more
know
than
we
enough.
we didn't even intro this? I don't remember us saying hi.
Oh, yeah,
Welcome to the
that's
eavesdrop. Yeah.
True.
Okay. Are we,
Just
We're
extra
gonna
it.
Extra it.
we're gonna extra.
Okay, so if you are confused watching this episode or listening to this podcast and going, what the heck was that about? Join the club. That's exactly what we're thinking. But in any case, that's the eavesdrop. That's the episode for today. My name is Del.
We just really wanted to connect with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in and for listening to us go on and on for the last 2 hours or so. My name is Jelly.
Thank you for letting me be drunk with all of you. It is like past 12 in Manila. Thank you. My name is Francesca.
Thanks for going on the Eves Gang Hang. Jude Rocha here. We'll see you
Ooh.
soon.
Bye. Good night. Peace out, you guys.
This is Eavesdrop Radio.
Be sure to join us next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.